You're fat and you talk like a moron.
Buenos dias, Juan El Tardamenda Amanda. I don't know.
Fuck you, Mike Morse. Fuck off, you useless, untalented piece of shit.
Brian Cloudy, you are a fucking asshole. Ice wallow cum. Oh. How are you, penis? I haven't seen you in a while.
I'm waiting, Cardiff.
I want a goddamn concerted
Every time you talk, it's like you're goggling on your own cum. Katie's wiener is yummy.
How stupid!
The frog. The stench of failure. By the stench of me. It's very difficult to be this stupid. I love Shuli's balls. I have a vagina. Mother, do you think they'll try and break my bone? Call me a snowflake. I am. Travel in the and I'm like to sit there. So maybe it was a faulty Google Chrome. I just got a new Google Chrome. Scola. Scola. Zero life. Fruits, vegetables, and potatoes. Yes. Hey, Mommy, could you make me a cup of coffee? Yes, I was sucking a guy off on the airplane. Oh, there's a lot of liquid coming out of it. Boom! And I don't even like ricotta cheese, and I would never eat it.
Fuck Shuli, fuck the Shuli Network, and BS show. They can go suck an egg. I can't get enough dicks in my butt.
I love anal sex. Give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away, yeah. Give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away, yeah.
Dickies.
I'll suck your dick.
How do you feel?
Susanna wasn't going to be used. Ice wallow cum. Oh.
Ice wallow cum.
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 I want a goddamn concerted effort to come out of a record that isn't a fucking up-tempo record every time I do a goddamn death dedication.
Susanna wasn't going to be used.
4 inches is fine.
I appreciate Peter's ring. It's very difficult to be this stupid. It's almost incomprehensible for a man of my intelligence to ingest. It's hard to put one over on me.
We stand with penis.
Cunt. Scola. How are you, penis? I haven't seen you in a while.
Dweeb alert. Dweeb alert.
Scola. Let's watch the dues pay you.
Point DabblePoint. A Stuttering John Melendez roundtable discussion.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Point DabblePoint. That's right, we are here live. Thank you for joining us. Welcome all. Let me introduce you to our panel today. Of course, you know him, you love him. He is the one and only potato that rules this Dabbleverse. The one and only Cardiff Electric, ladies and gentlemen.
Good luck, everybody.
And of course, up top, the godfather of it all, the man who really drove John crazy the most. The man who put his book out for free on his Patreon, guilty as charged, the one and only Karl. WATP. Let's go.
I was getting sandbagged here. I want to thank both of you, speaking of driving. Thanks for coming over to my house today.
No problem.
Love having you guys here in the studio with me. It's fun.
No problem, man. It's cool. I miss you. I miss the mom wife. I miss everybody, and I'm glad I could see everybody. And Cardiff's just an added bonus.
When she gets home, she goes by Jen, by the way. Just FYI.
Me and Shuli are sitting in the Cardiff Electric wing of the basement. We've
That's
got
right.
Sponsored by Patreon.com, obviously. Cardiff Electric.
Don't put your beard on the pool table, Cardiff. We're talking about that.
Hey, coasters. Yeah, this is civilized fucking place
Come on.
over here. Welcome, everybody. A lot to get to. Unlike the last few weeks, we've got some action this week, gentlemen. We've got, oh, sorry, pal. You can just check out. You got stories, you got new angles, you got new lies uncovered. We're discovering the finger jamming techniques now, what they mean, which finger he's jamming into his thumb. I don't know if you've caught on to that yet, but there's a lot happening. And the first thing I want to tackle is a field you're very familiar in and something that you're very passionate about.
Gay sex. I'm speaking for Karl.
And stolen guitar valor.
Oh,
Really, dues
unbelievable.
pay you.
Yeah. Now, I will say right off the bat, I've never played, can't play. I lean on you for your expertise, Cardiff. I know you're a destroyer. You're better than Karl. Let's be honest. And I'm leaning on you guys to walk me through this. Where are we at with this, Karl?
So Stuttering John was watching himself play guitar live at that show that had a few dozen people, but he claimed he was opening for these big bands or whatever.
Right.
And his guitar playing is amateur. It's terrible. But it's crazy. Whenever John watches himself do anything, his perception of it is completely different than everyone else's. And this is
Correct.
part of his narcissistic personality disorder, which I've been really enjoying learning about, because narcissists have this weird thing where they see everything through this filter. So
Right.
John watches himself play guitar. He's bending the notes sharp and flat, and he's hitting open strings when he's not supposed to be. And he sits there and he watches it and he goes, "That guy is shredding. I wish Kate Meany was watching that right now because I'm so good at guitar."
Cardiff, thoughts on his guitar playing? You agree with Karl?
I'm not even. I won't even talk about him watching himself. I mean, that's Karl was fascinated watching John watch John.
Yes.
It was fascinating. But I'm coming at this more of the angle. I'm gonna have to let's take down the fourth wall here, Mr. Shuli.
Sure.
I'm not the greatest guitar player in the world. I know everyone does think that, but for the sake of this argument, I am a hack guitar player.
Right.
I know you just bend a lot of notes if you're trying to pretend you can make a solo, and
You know
and
how to
that's
fake
all-
it. You know how to
Yeah,
fake it.
you know how to fake, and that's exactly what John is doing. Like I'm calling him out because it's exactly how I played. Well, I
Right.
still play to today.
Well,
I haven't improved.
so I want to point out that John keeps changing the parameters of the argument. And the way that it started was he's obviously a better guitarist than me, even though he'd never listened to my music or my guitar playing. But then when it started getting some pushback, he changed it to, well, of course I'm better than him because I got Atlantic Records to sign my band and I played on national television, so that proves it. But there's plenty, especially in the 90s, of guitarists who suck who got signed to major labels and were on national television. Kurt Cobain's a great example of this. Great songwriter, terrible guitarist.
Right.
I mean, have you ever seen the band Mudhoney? I mean, there's a lot of guys who can't play the fucking guitar who are playing guitar. Sonic Youth, a lot of guys play guitar in that era. It doesn't make you better than someone else because your song got picked up by the Airheads soundtrack.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because I want to play this for you. This is from a YouTube page, goes by Generation XP. And I'm not sure if he's using AI, Chat GPT, something like that. I'm an idiot. I don't know any of that shit. But he puts technology to the test when it comes to Stuttering John. And this specifically has to do with his guitar playing. I'd like you guys to take a look at this.
Did Stuttering John play guitar on either of his albums? There is no evidence to suggest Stuttering John played guitar on either of his.
I'm sorry. I'm hearing someone yelling in the background of somewhere. Are you guys picking that up in your headphones as well?
I heard that as well, yeah.
Okay.
20 you idiots has your mic open. Shut it off.
Right.
Oh, hey, guys.
Emergency episode.
Very
Shitware.
I'm that idiot.
Hey, we were off to a fucking great start, too. All right, here we go.
I didn't say anything. I thought it was Shuli.
I thought it was me, too.
I was hoping it was Shuli. I was going to call him out on it.
Well, I'm divorced.
Don.
I'm divorced. Everybody left, so it's not my end.
Sounds like box of crystals being rushed out of the house.
That's the sound of crystals being put in a U-Haul, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
Did Stuttering John play guitar on either of his albums? There is no evidence to suggest Stuttering John played guitar on either of his albums. Here's why. Stuttering John is not known for being a musician.
No, he's not.
Online searches don't show him credited with playing guitar on his albums.
If you go through the credits, it's really weird because nowhere in here is John listed as a guitarist or lead guitarist.
In interviews, there's no mention of him playing guitar. While it's not impossible, it seems unlikely Stuttering John played guitar on his albums himself. Who played guitar on Stuttering John's albums? Two guitarists are credited on Stuttering John's self-titled 1994 album, Stuttering John, according to Discogs. Phil Titus played guitar and backing vocals. Stuttering John, while the album credits Stuttering John himself, it likely refers to vocals and not guitar. It's important to note that Stuttering John wasn't known for his musical talents, so it's more likely Bill Titus handled the main guitar parts.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't John say he was lead guitar at first? He played all the lead guitar?
So when he started off bragging about this album, which we're going to get into that too, because the album's not great. But it started off, he said, I played every single lead guitar on this album. And then all of a sudden, I think he was looking at his ceiling, and his ceiling reminded him that actually his buddy Randy Cantor played lead on 2 of the 12 songs.
Right.
And it's funny because even this thing, and the research that I was doing too, Randy is not even listed as a guitarist on that album. So what else isn't listed about that album?
Right.
What other guys were they bringing in? Was the studio bringing in? Because the bass player on John's first album is a session guy, studio guy, who ended up joining Bon Jovi, but originally was brought in to help Bon Jovi on some of their early recordings because he's just a good bass player. So John had that guy come in. Obviously, Atlantic Records brought him in. They're like, we got to get someone who can play bass on this album. So if they're willing to do that, and we know that, don't you think they would also bring in guys who can actually play lead guitar to be on an album? Wouldn't that make perfect sense? And I'll say this, in John's defense, it's possible because of that guy's fucking ego that the record company didn't want him to know that they had to bring in a ringer after he left the studio to replay his parts. And John's so stupid, he just sits there and goes, yeah, man, I fucking nailed that yesterday. Wow, I'm really good at guitar.
I could totally see that as the reality of all this, you know, that like a kid, they go, don't tell him, it'll break his heart. And then they just do everything behind it.
Think about this. It's one of his crowning achievements. Atlantic Records, he put out an album, recorded it. I'm sure it was an amazing studio, worked with the best engineers and producers. And he's sitting there going, I played every single guitar part on there. And then a week or two later, he goes, wait a second, did Bill Titus play any leads? I can't remember if Bill... I don't think he did. Well, Randy Cantor, okay, yeah, so he did actually play a couple. It's like, John, now your entire argument is invalid.
And that's all we're talking about here is doubt.
Yes.
Doubt. That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury,
yeah.
If you even doubt that John played leads on his album, then you cannot say that he played all the leads on his album.
100%.
So now I think John realizes that he's not that good at guitar. So now he starts changing the parameters.
Who gives a shit? I wrote songs.
We will expose this part at the end of the video. Please continue.
I wrote good songs that were played on radio nationally.
Were any of Stuttering John's songs played on the radio? It's unlikely that Stuttering John's songs received regular radio airplay for a few reasons. Limited commercial appeal, Stuttering John wasn't a mainstream musician, and his music was more of a novelty based on his radio personality. Radio station format. Most radio stations cater to specific genres or target demographics. Stuttering John's music might not have fit the format of most stations. There's a possibility his songs might have been played on the Howard Stern Show or niche radio stations that focused on shock humor or novelty music, but widespread radio airplay seems improbable.
Can you pause it again?
Yeah, absolutely.
So something else that just occurred to me.
Yeah.
In this time, what is this, 94, 95 when this album came out?
Yes.
I was really into alternative music, modern rock, grunge, whatever it was called at the time. I was playing in a cover band in school and stuff. And so I was watching Headbangers Ball, 120 minutes, Alternative Nation. I was listening to the modern rock station here in Rochester, which, by the way, is what Howard Stern was on. So I'm listening to all of this. I've never, watching MTV, listening to the radio, I never heard John's song played anywhere but the Howard Stern Show.
You think he was big on Dr. Demento? I asked that question the other night.
I doubt it.
It's like novelty shows. I mean, I don't know.
I doubt he was even played on there because it's not funny enough to be a funny song, and it's not rocky enough to be a rock song. It's got no audience to it. I mean, Cardiff, you're a guitarist. When we were hanging out in Largo, you were playing some of your old band from the 90s and stuff.
Doxed.
Yes. So I'm curious, have you ever heard John's song in the wild?
I want to say I have, but again, really? I was so. But here's the thing: back in that time, I would have been listening to the radio station that played Howard.
Right.
If you were listening to any other station that didn't play Howard, they're not going to promote Stuttering John at that time. That'd be like talking about the other station. Yeah. You mentioned this if you play the Stuttering John album,
and
right?
I think I saw John on his show this week even say, the other stations didn't want to play my music because I was associated with the Howard Stern Show, but they had to because it was so popular. They eventually had to give in. It's just like there were too many requests. Fuck Weezer, fuck Green Day. Can we get that Stuttering John song?
Can you imagine the movie John would make about his music career with that one rebel DJ in DC that decided to play the Stuttering John album?
What was the Christian Slater movie where they all met at the drive-in and he's like, I'll play Stuttering John's song there.
Film soundtracks on songs that I wrote.
What soundtracks has Stuttering John's music been in? The only confirmed instance of Stuttering John's music appearing in a soundtrack is for the 1994 movie Airheads. His song, I'll Talk My Way Out of It, is featured on the film soundtrack. Did Stuttering John write the lyrics for his song I'll Talk My Way Out of It? Here's what we can gather about the authorship of I'll Talk My Way Out of It. Songwriter credits. According to online sources like Shazam, the songwriting for I'll Talk My Way Out of It is credited to Cantor and Melendez.
Yes.
But
Cantor talked about this. So John had Cantor on Beer on the Balcony before he left the internet for 8 months. So this is going back a little ways. And Cantor had the guitar in his lap. He's like, yeah, remember I wrote the riff, and he started playing the riff to this specific song. And so John had nothing to do with the music. I'm sure he had a hand in writing the lyrics, I would assume.
But why is it that the name Melendez is for the other songwriter? And you'll see in a second here, that's not a picture of John. And then up here, performing artist, Stuttering John. We all know he goes by Stuttering John since he left, right?
Yes.
As you see here on the Shazam website, the picture of Melendez is not Stuttering John.
Wait, you know what that is? That's his nephew that helps him with the thumbnails. That's the same nephew that made the Why Do They Podcast video. That's who that is. He's been helping him all this time?
Wow. No idea. John, you've been exposed. Our PI.
Dustin told me that, by the way.
Now let's take a look at all of his songs and see who is credited as songwriter for each. As you can see here, Stuttering John is not credited as
I've said this many times before.
Yeah.
But that album cover that we just saw.
It's unbelievable.
What an idiot. Who would find something that's so unattractive to put on an album cover. Who would see this in the CDs? Back then, everything was you're flipping through the discs. Oh, this looks interesting.
Right.
No one would buy this, but it's not any different than this, which is also a horrendous album cover. This color scheme is garbage. What was he thinking with this?
Which brings me to my point. We found the one thing we can give John credit for on this album, and that's the picture.
Yes, he probably took this photo.
That he definitely picked. That's his call.
Of his songs. We all know what a narcissist John is, and if he wrote the lyrics for a song, you know damn well he would go out of his way to make sure he gets credit.
I'm starting to think this isn't AI anymore. This piece of shit garbage human would definitely take credit for.
It drops an F-bomb at the end. I won't be able to play it.
Stuttering John did not write any lyrics or play guitar on his album.
Wait a minute. You're not one of those guys that feels at some point AI will become self-aware and realize John's a fucking loser?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for an F slur out of this one.
It's coming.
Can you leave it pause for a second?
Yeah.
There's a very interesting fact up on the screen. This song has been Shazammed 65 times.
Oh no. That's incredible.
That's an incredibly low number.
Yes. How is that possible?
That's the biggest reveal in this whole
That's
video.
Hilarious. Can we what website are they looking at right here?
It's on Shazam.
This
Can we get a reference?
Yeah, let's get a reference to like another song that was out at that time, like Even Flow by Pearl Jammers. I'd love to know what it should have been as far as how many times it's been Shazammed.
Froggy's on that.
Okay, thanks.
I bet we could pull an Isotope song. It's got more than 65 Shazams.
I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. Maybe not. It'll be a photo finish.
Please quit.
So just for some perspective,
Yeah.
Soundgarden's Black Hole Sun, which came out the same year, has 3.8 million Shazams.
Okay.
All right.
Wait,
we're
so
in the ballpark.
So 65 divided by 3. Yeah, it's low. It's a low percentage.
So Black Hole Sun's a more popular song, probably. Is that what you're saying?
That is exactly what I'm saying.
According to my calculations, this is not good. Thank you, Cardiff, for that on-the-fly math. Real quick, let me welcome. We got 1,100 in here. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit notification, and member your ass up. You can do it yourself, $5 or $10, or you can turn on accept gift and memberships. We put a link in the description. Click it, turn it on, get in here, join the fun behind the wall. Jason's joining all by himself. Thank you, pal.
My paywall.
Appreciate it, buddy. Gar Saxon, why was Clay Dabbler wearing a portable glory hole on his head the other night on John's show? Since he brought it up, let's unless there's something else you want to add, you take that. Unless there's something else you want to add to the guitar talk or anything.
Now, what I love about John is just he brags and brags and brags, and it gets to the point where if he was more humble about this, it would be very impressive that this guy had a major record label put his album out. And he said, listen, I'm not even that great at guitars, but there you go. I fucking got on Atlantic Records. I toured with all these bands. It's pretty cool. I'd be like, yeah, that is pretty cool. Good on you. But he brags and brags and brags. And so then we play like his solo from his Conan O'Brien appearance that is terrible. It's one of the worst solos you've ever seen. He plays, I've never seen a guitarist play in two positions. He starts on the 5th fret, and then goes up to the 17th fret, and those are the two positions that he plays on. And he's bending things wrong, and he's missing shit. And then you call him out, and you go, yeah, that solo on Conan was pretty embarrassing. And he goes, no, it was good. I mean, I'm on national television, and my hair's long, and I'm nervous, and I only got one take at it. And he starts backtracking and all the reasons why. Yeah, okay, maybe it wasn't his best work or anyone's best work on there.
It is wild, though, that he's a child. Like when a kid is lying and they're caught, they just double down. They keep lying. They keep bringing up more shit. And he's stuck in that mode the rest of his life. It's fucking wild to see.
It's fun.
It is. So Clay Dabbler's appearance this week. Gar Saxon brought him up. Thoughts, gentlemen? It was a really long show, 4+ hours. Yeah. And
it's surprising. I'm sorry to interrupt you. It's surprising to me that John has formulated in his head that was a good appearance, because he literally had to put him in time out at a certain point because Clay Dabbler wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Well, a certain point, I think he did it a few times, and I think it was one of the reasons why he kept walking away, because it was really a Sophie's choice for him, right? He had a guy that was washing his balls like nobody else, but he was also very annoying and hijacking his show. So what was John to do? He needs a friend, right?
It's
this
weird,
is what this is all
I have
about.
Cardiff on my show all the time, and all he is really annoying.
Yeah. That's why
it'd be nice if there was some ball washing mixed in with that.
Fuck you, hamburger.
And that's why I fell in love with him. You see, that's what I love about him. But yeah, it was a real test for John, and Clay was, like I said, he was kissing his ass. I haven't seen that level of ass kissing yet as a guest on his podcast.
It's interesting. Like this used to be a tier on John's Patreon. Like there was a certain point you could get a Zoom call with John. Now these are his guests. Like these are his fans. Quadfather, Clay Dabbler,
Stevie Lou for a while. Yeah,
Stevie Lou, of course. But I honestly I feel Clay is just playing a little bit of a cat and mouse game. Like I don't think any of that is genuine.
I'm glad you're saying that, because I'm trying to figure out what the angle is too. And I think Cardiff, what maybe we lose sight of is that these guys want to participate in this world so much that any way they can get in is fine with them. So there was a time when Clay Dabbler
dressed up like a potato.
Right. Yes. I mean, yes, you've accomplished it. You figured out a way to get into this world and be invited.
You cracked the code, my friend.
You somehow cracked the code. But what's sad to me is, like, you see these characters in the chats, and like Clay Dabbler's created some amazing art. He does really good work.
Brilliant.
And I've always admired
stuff.
it and appreciated what he's put out there. I was only upset that he only took one crack at me and it wasn't very good, and he destroyed it. But it's really good work. And then when you actually see like how these people live, it's so depressing. You're like, oh, I didn't want to know that. That place is so tiny that he lives in. His mattress is on the floor right next to his living room. It's like, oh.
His sandals on the wall.
The most confusing thing to me was the mount for the sandals on the wall.
Is that a British thing, or what is that?
It must be.
I guess maybe if you have a dog that chews everything, somebody suggested maybe that's where you put them. But yeah, it was brutal to watch. Now the question is, he doing, is he undercover double agent? I disagree. I think there's certain people in this world that are just looking for love. They're looking to be able to say, oh, I can text Stuttering John, or I can call Stuttering John, and it's an in for what? I don't know, but I believe that everything he says to John, he's 100% like speaking honestly about it.
And I don't know what's in it for Clay, because up until now, right, he's always been the most probably the most beloved, least controversial character in the Dabble. Everyone just loved what he did. He was amazing. He posts stuff. It's like, this is amazing. I was messaging him like, you got to get an Instagram for this. This is amazing, the shit you do. And he was the one character that nobody shits on, but now he's just like, all right, guys, here I am. Come shit on me.
Yeah, well, then he started wishing death on everyone. I feel like that was a bad look. I don't know. It's not what I would do with my first appearance.
No, you want to ease into that, right, Karl?
But Shuli, to your point, though, I agree. I don't think that he's playing an angle or doing a bit, because he got way too drunk to keep it going. Like, the truth would have come out.
Well, and the truth did come out when he got drunk, which was, I think he accused me of not replying to him enough, or John, he accused him of, and that's a sign right there that it's like, it's somebody taking something personal from somebody that they don't know. They don't know what's going on in somebody's life at the moment when they send them a message.
Yeah, but Shuli, I think you do owe him at least 8 hours of your time every week, don't you?
All right. Well, I'll figure it out. You want to take Bob's spot on the weekends, Clay? You're in. Bring the mask.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. That'd be a fun experiment.
Idea.
No, only because of John's reaction to that, he would lose his mind.
I mean, listen, I'll let him on. I'll do it. But you got to be sober. That's the only thing I ask. I need a sober Clay Dabbler. But again, he got to live his dream. He got to walk onto the field where his favorite team plays, throw a couple passes with the quarterback. And now I don't see him very active on Twitter since this appearance.
Oh, no? Is he embarrassed or what's
well, that's
going
the
on?
thing. People want to be a part of it until they're a part of it, and then it's, this Dabbleverse is not friendly.
I think he posted on Reddit this morning. I think he owned it.
He did? Okay.
Yeah, I think he owned it.
Okay,
well, good for him, man. I've never had a beef with the guy. All we did is promote his stuff and praise his amazing work. So whatever. If he enjoyed it, good. I'm happy for you, Clay.
I wish though he would have reminded us a few times that he's not a comedian or a broadcaster. Because I didn't pick up on that until he told me that.
No, Clay. John will never remind us. Yeah. Equal. Let's go. What a great week in the Dabbleverse. PWO Potato World Order. FKB. Hashtag Clay Dabbler. Thank you. Thanks for the 8-month membership, my friend. Mason in Portland gifting 5. Let's go, Mason. Come on.
Don't get too excited. Those are on Cardiff's channel.
Well, why are they showing up here?
Sorry, I fucked up at the beginning. I made a mistake. I was sniping you all along.
I'm streaming this to my audience then too. What the fuck?
Jesus Christ. Now I got to change my background. No more plugs for you, Potato. You just blew it.
I turned it off as soon as I was notified.
Another one. Vote Cardiff 2024.
I just want to say to Mason in Portland, I think I'm going to see him at Hackamania May 31st through June 2nd. I think he's coming down. He's got tickets.
Promo code Cardiff.
Promo code is WATP. 20% off your tickets. Hackamania.com. Vegas, May 31st through June 2nd. Of course.
You'll be glad to know Joey C is one step closer to making it to Vegas. So
yeah, he lets me know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He lets everybody know. Yeah. Yes, I super chatted after Rico was over yesterday. I forgot. I walked my dog when the show was on pause, trying to beat me for unseen super chats. The current world record is 5. Thank you, James. Sorry we missed you, pal. Is that Cardiff is on his channel? Now he's hacking this channel, putting that up. This is fucking Potato. Jay, what's up, buddy? Shuli, the other day you were talking about developing a Rico-like show for other losers. I hear there's some snaggletooth dork with frosted tips who takes naps on WAP podcast. Oh, hey, Karl.
Yeah, I'm going to rebrand to Wet Ass Pussy.
There you go.
The show.
You might get a whole new audience. You should
hurt
for a couple weeks. Susanna actually had 4 kids, talking about a mom wife. Gar Saxon, 9 months. Thank you, Gar. Dill Dog dropping a dime. Let's go,
Suck
Bubba.
my dick. I swallow cum.
Thank me. Fuck you, Mike Morse. Fuck off, you useless, untalented piece of shit.
Who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck?
Exactly. Joe 316 been playing 36 hours. I'm not Ingvi Malmsteen, but Stuttering John sucks. Oh, hi, Potato.
He's been playing guitar 36 years. And yeah, John never developed past, like, there's a certain thing that you, as a guitarist, you learn the pentatonic scale and you learn how to play over different chord progressions. And John figured that out and went, I'm good. And never got better.
I'm with him on that one.
Yeah.
But no, the one thing that we didn't mention was, and I thought was valid, was, does John seem like the guy that would do, 4 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the radio station, come home, take a nap, which he's admitted.
Yeah, he's
right.
Get up, then practice for an hour or two, or does he go straight to drinking?
I mean, what do you think built that playground he calls a body? Getting up and practicing guitar? Jay, thank you for the $5. I also heard there's a guy who dresses up like a potato but doesn't offer his viewers any French fries. What a jip. Jeez. Oh, hey, Cardiff.
What?
Dill Dog. That potato is that potato is looking old. It already has eyes. Potatoes are they them, correct?
Whatever.
You'd have to ask him. I don't know. The potato Eli Hunter and Bessie, take your hat off. Oh, Vince in the chat crying. My favorite John is bitching about $2 super chats, John.
Yep.
Yeah, he had a rough go the day after Clay Dabbler. Not good. 1999 from Frank. Thank you, pal. You're the best. A girl's getting famous from TikTok for making a face and saying Chick-fil-A sauce. John is the OG version of that. Novelty fame, minimal talent. It is the perfect storm for him to be huge right now. But he would have to own some of it, if not all of it, right?
No, I think he's as famous as he should be because of the way he behaves. I think that if he actually understood what a retard he is, some people would feel bad for him and go, let's stop goofing on this guy. But this guy is so arrogant and such a narcissist. And so, you're talking about complaining about $2 super chats. The entitlement is crazy to me when he goes, I see you give $10 to Brennan and you give $2 to me. He could have given you 0. Most people give you 0, John.
Yeah, like people don't have to give a fucking thing. They can watch. It's free. They can watch it and not give a thing. And yet he's like, how dare you? How dare you?
It's literally the beggar on the street. You give him $1. That's it.
Yeah, there's a South Park about that. Where, no matter how much money you give them, they just want more after that.
It's a vicious cycle. Clay Dabbler, head shaped like a guitar pick, ironically. Thank you, Painkiller. Donald, thank you, pal, for the $10. Yes, I saw the music video for I'll Talk My Way Out of It. He had cameos, almost every musician who appeared on Stern auditioning for his band, and Gilbert Gottfried as his agent.
Yeah, no, it's a great video. I think even Mini Kiss is in it, right? It's a very fun video.
No, that was just John with Kiss makeup on. He's just
that's very possible too.
5'2",
but and that's what's so crazy about it is you have all these celebrities in the video. Even Sting is in it, which is a crazy get for that time. And I don't remember seeing it on MTV once. I watched all that programming.
I think the only times it was on is like when he was on or something. Like they were forced to play it because there was some attachment to it. Somebody from the show, maybe, I don't know, but it definitely wasn't in heavy rotation. No. And you have the biggest artists of that time in the video,
right?
Which is says it all. Delta Zero, thank you for the $5. I do remember hearing the song on the radio. Also saw him at an in-store in LA. It was Novelty. I saw him as a Stern product. Anything Howard, I was in.
Sure.
It's like the rest of us.
Yep.
I'm about to leave. Would it be rude to have my AirPods in for a whole wedding? Hey, as long as you don't get caught. Music albums, 94,
Just
alternative
to show
rock.
you some of the other music that came out in 1994. Soundgarden, Super Unknown, Definitely Maybe, Vitalogy, Grace by Jeff Buckley. It was the year of the Nirvana Unplugged, Jar of Flies by Alice Chains. I'm pretty sure Dookie by Green Day came out this year, and the first Offspring record.
And the Blue Album by Weezer, too.
Great year for
music.
music.
A crazy year for music.
And that Crow soundtrack. Don't sleep on that shit, dog. Come on. Booster.
Forgetting John Corabi's Motley Crue. That's fine.
Oh, yeah. Booster TK75. Stuttering John's response to this should be epic. Cannot wait for his lies, drools, giant beers, drunkenness, drools again, and rage. Hashtag Guitargate.
Hashtag Guitargate.
It's here, and it ain't going anywhere. 8 Daves a week. Thank you for the 2-month membership. Some days I'm sick of Stuttering John. Then he manages to suck me in. Keep me laughing, boys. You got it, pal. Thank you.
I'm with you, buddy. I feel your pain.
To give and take, But Gookie Joe, thank you for the year membership. Sweet baby tater tots. Where has the year gone and what have we all done with our lives? Thank you for all the laughs. Thank you for being here for a year, my friend. Willie Taint, speaking of Clay Dabbler, isn't Cockney slang fucking stupid? Willie Taint.
Doesn't make you sound smart, that's for sure.
Thank you for the 8 months, Willie. Clay should play Sideshow Bob in a live-action Simpsons movie. Not bad.
Yeah.
Marco V.
Mm-hmm. The face shape, for sure.
How about, Joseph Silva. How about everyone on Bravo, Paris Hilton, the Kardashians, and all the housewives had deals and songs on the radio?
You know what? That's a really good point, too. We forget that a lot of these people get signed for novelty reasons. Eddie Murphy had that song about his girl wanting to party all the time. No one took Eddie Murphy seriously as a singer and musician. So John's not the first one, won't be the last.
You got to Shazam Tan Mom's song. Do you think she's had more than 65 people? I think so. I think it's been Shazam more than 65.
I don't know. That's going to be tough.
Yeah, you got to check that out. In radio, Looney Tunes critic, thank you, buddy. In radio, I learned in the mid-'90s to the early 2000s, your song being...
Shuli.
I knew it. That was a hit. That was a good song.
She has
Wait a minute, that's not even the song.
So many more.
That's not even the song I was talking about.
That's 311.
Huh?
311.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
But what's her song that was actually good?
Hold on. I got to stop you right there, Shuli. What
No, it
Tan-Mom
really
song that was
was.
actually good? I know what you're talking about. It's
Yeah, I
not,
think it was one of the Adam Barta ones.
right. It's not good.
Stuttering John territory.
Yeah, that one's not it. That wasn't Life of the Party. Tama, I'm free to be Patricia Marie. Free to be. Tan Mom, free to be. That's what it is. Check that. Get back to me on that. She's back one more time. I never left. In radio, I learned in the mid-1990s to the early 2000s, your song being on a soundtrack potentially meant the end. Soundtracks are largely made up of tracks that record company doesn't know what to do with.
Yeah, Looney Tunes critic, you're right about that. And also, they look for songs that are less expensive oftentimes. I remember Artie Lang talking about Frankenstein being on his album because it was only $10,000 to license. And he goes, it's amazing. Frankenstein shows up on a lot of movie soundtracks.
Right.
For that reason. So, I think Cheap Trick notoriously is pretty inexpensive. You're going to hear those guys on a lot of soundtracks. But yeah, it's a good call.
But again, the Airheads wanted, probably whoever was producing that wanted a John song. Again, get Howard talking about it.
That's and John had a cameo in the movie to get Howard talking about it. So yeah, it's all that.
Granny Banger, Stuttering John loves jizz.
Did you hear my theory on this, Shuli?
Go ahead. What is it? Because I'm throwing this out there that is in the running for the grossest moment of all time on Stuttering John's show. What is your theory about this?
So I think John has a kink that he's a little bit ashamed of, but I think what gets him off, because you can tell by the way he talks now, he likes getting a guy's load in his mouth before the show starts. And then he tries to do his entire show without it coming out of his mouth. Now, that one time it did, unfortunately, and exposed what he's into.
Can somebody send me that timestamp?
Listen, I got to tell you.
A clip for you, Cardiff.
Thank you.
I mean, I've heard a lot of crazy theories, but none have made more sense than what you just explained to me.
Well, I mean, his family's got some weird things going on when it comes to sexuality. John probably, the apple doesn't fall far, so it's very likely that John, who's that guy who cleans his place and gives him beer?
Oh, Guillermo. Handyman to the stars. Yeah.
Why do you think Guillermo's going above and beyond for this guy, cleaning out his filthy apartment while he's gone? John's probably sucking him off before the show starts.
You don't think it's the 40s of Steel Reserve that he's doing it for?
No, I don't. I don't think anyone wants that. They want a hand job.
Come on, my face.
I say case closed. That sounds like...
Right?
Is there anyone who's opposed? You want to speak up? You want to, nobody's going to disagree with this.
Now, I will tell you that I do have my PI investigating this, so I don't have all the answers now, but they're coming very soon.
Good. Shout out to Karl's PI, Magnum.
Did your PI see John and Guillermo shopping for mouthwash, Karl?
I have the photos.
Tiger Lily, untrue. Clay has been in the chat for months shitting on listeners for being mean to John, especially women. Interesting. You see? Well, didn't he go after FK Mommy on that episode? Frog, you edited it.
There was some of that. Yeah.
Interesting. Grateful Dad, thank you, pal, for the $5. Listening to Stuttering John is maddening, especially when he talks like he's an inside authority regarding late night wars, Conan, Jay, etc. Voss recant was True Colors.
That was a weird thing that happened. I picked up on this. I don't know. I didn't think it was interesting enough to clip, but John talking about when NBC moved Leno. Well, at first they just said, okay, Leno, your contract's up. Conan's taking over the Tonight Show. But then because of the backlash and things, they moved Leno to 10 o'clock. And then John went on to talk about how Conan failed miserably and was so terrible and no one watched him. Like, Conan was your buddy. He used to have you on his show all the time. And you play clips of it and you brag about it. And now you're calling Conan out?
Yeah.
No loyalty with this guy.
None whatsoever. He's like, I've always thought Jay was better than Letterman. Remember when he did that whole rap?
Bullshit. And that was not Conan's fault. Fucking up the Tonight Show was all on NBC. They're the ones that ruined that by giving all the big celebrities to the 10 o'clock slot. So what the fuck was Conan supposed to do? And also, his show's for a different audience.
Well, speaking of the Tonight Show, I believe yesterday was supposed to be this big Tonight Show reunion that John put together, right?
I thought it was in May.
Oh, it's in May?
I think so. Don't hold me to that.
I thought I saw something on Dabblers today about it.
Oh, okay.
I think there was something
showed up.
Yeah, there was something today, but no, I don't think it's till later.
Sorry about my producer. Anyways, let's move on.
Emergency episode. They fucked up.
This is hot off the press. Run with this one. Penis wrinkle. What a celebrity. I've argued with Clay a lot on X. He is 100% in love with Stuttering John. It's like how Sal was obsessed with Howard initially. He's that much of a loser. F.K. Dabbler. Thank you, Penis.
Love you, Penis. Rico.
Clip that. Thank you. And cut out wrinkle. Clay's level ball sucking put DG to shame.
Agree.
Speaking of DG, there's an interesting thing that John said the other day about him and DG hanging out at the pub. And according to John, DG did not pay for his tab and tried to skip town to the point where the bartender / owner, I don't remember which one, had to stand on the hood of DG's car to prevent him from leaving.
That's a crazy story right there. I can't even picture that happening. I've been out to many establishments. I've never seen anything like that.
And that's a stupid way to stop a car from moving.
Yeah, no shit.
I was going to say, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Bad strategy.
It's like going behind it and putting your hands on the trunk and going, nope, you're not going. So I texted DG to see if he wanted to come on last night. He's going to come on tonight. He had to work today. But he claims that he's going to explain what went on. And there's nothing John can say about it because he has email receipts to back up what he's going to share with us tonight. My question to you, Karl, has there ever been a time where you wanted to hear from DG more than now?
When we came on before the show started, I go, Shuli, is DG coming on today? Because I had heard that he might come on Point DabblePoint. I'm like, I can't believe I'm saying this. I want to talk to DG. It's never happened before in my life. That guy is such a zilch. But now I want to hear this story because that's some strong accusations coming from one SJ.
But also, go ahead, Cardiff.
Yeah, how many? I'll ask the two of you. How many of your nights out drinking with your pals has ended up in an email back and forth afterwards and receipts that needed to be kept?
Cardiff, I'm not even going to think about. I'm not even going to look at the ceiling on this one. 0 is the answer.
That's the right answer.
Yes.
But also, I think an appearance from a Clay Dabbler the other night really puts into perspective that at the end of the day, DG was not a bad guy. DG actually was the one guy I think that actually was trying to help John without an ulterior motive. He was trying to help him play clips
stupid.
and do segment. Oh, what's that?
Well, that's stupid then.
Well, listen, but what do you think Clay's doing? Like this is a fixer-upper. John's a fucking fixer-upper, and people are gonna run across him and go, I can get this guy to fucking see the light. And you're not. It's not gonna happen for anybody. It's just a waste of your time, and you're gonna sit there going, one day you're gonna be like, did that motherfucker just put up a picture of my house or my wife? And that's the end.
Oh,
that's how this game ends.
Let's talk about that. During Clay Dabbler's time on the show, John not only said what his name was, he needed it spelled. Why the fuck? And Cardiff, you could obviously attest to this. John's obsessed with knowing people's real name, knowing what they look like. Why does that matter?
Leverage,
exactly. That's all it is. He wants something to
asshole
to hold over you to just own. He wants to own a piece, so that he can do what's being done to him. Again, it's always everyone else draws first blood. His pal Vince the lawyer is sending him stuff, so now he wants everyone else to have stuff sent to them.
And I think there's a subconscious thing with him, or conscious, where he knows it's going to end badly. Every relationship does. So let me get my ammo right out the gate when their guard's down the most, when they're, it's the honeymoon phase of the friendship with John. Hey, send me a picture of your wife. I hear she's hot. I'd love to see her. You think nothing of it. Then next thing you know, boom, stored in the looks like he turned on me file and ready to go.
Yep, sounds like he turned on me.
So on the same computer that he's Googling info on Frog's criminal past, he's also taking attendance on.
Right. So again, we
What
were
happens to
right.
one of those kids turn on him?
Again, we were right.
Yep.
Number one, WATP, the Rico show. We brought you this news before anybody else. We told you. He denied it then. He's denying it now in one of the dumbest excuses I have ever heard. He claims he's reaching out to a parent of a student, a former drama student, to hook them up with his acting school. And I guess either he really does believe that we are as dumb as him,
Right.
or he's so dumb that he doesn't understand what's showing on that screen. But if you're fired from your teaching job, you do not have access to your school district's.
Shit. Listen, I was fired in August. I have until the next August. I can still access all the kids' personal information and pictures.
When I left Sirius, you know how long it took him to cancel my free subscription? 7.5 minutes.
Yeah.
7.5 minutes. It said, please call the 800 number to sign up. I go, God damn.
I used to be a partner in a company. When we let somebody go or somebody quit, we made sure they had access to nothing immediately. It's the first thing you have to do because they can sabotage shit.
When
Also,
yeah, go ahead.
let's talk, since we're talking about the school district stuff.
Yeah.
John brings up on his show, I think yesterday, his school district pension. He's always bragging about his pensions, and I always got a new one. He says he called his school to get more information about the pension he's going to get. And then he said, and when I found out the amount of money they're going to pay me, fucking A. We know how much money John made as a substitute teacher. It's readily available online. We've all seen it. He's made, I think, $9,000 was his best year.
Right.
And first off, substitute teachers don't get pensions.
No.
It makes zero sense. So, and again, it's a guy who's so stupid, he would fall for this, so he thinks that we're going to fall for this.
You're going to call me Johnny Two Boats after I get this pension.
I mean, how much money could he possibly have in a pension for being a substitute teacher for a year and a half?
Usually you have to be an employee for a certain amount of time to vest in a pension.
Right.
Let's keep going here. We got a lot. Real quick, the teaching thing, the excuses. How long do you think before he just has to admit it? Because I mean, he's caught red-handed. Or does he just keep going down denial alley, nonstop?
Yeah, that's a weird one because there's been photographic evidence again.
Yeah,
and so we all know. And hold on, I'm just remembering this now. When the photo came out, didn't he say that the student who took that photo was going to get in trouble because you're not supposed to take photos in class? So wasn't that kind of an admission of guilt?
He said a couple things. He said, one, that student is going to get in trouble. Then he said it was from the year before. It's not current. Then he told that weird story where he allows kids to take selfies with him after he shows them him beating Shaq in basketball clip and all this shit. And the other thing with that screen being open, number one, he's using a hotspot. So he's using his phone as a hotspot, which either means he's at school on his computer during school hours, posting stuff, doxing people.
Yep.
Or two, he's so fucking poor, he doesn't even have internet, and he's got to use his phone as a hotspot.
Yeah, Juan no longer lives next door to him.
No, I guess that ship has sailed. Can someone please, Voltaire, thank you very much for the $5. Can someone please do a supercut compilation video of that bum Stuttering John chugging with his right arm while his left arm does weird gimpy things? Yeah, we're now, we're now assuming that he just lost function of one side. And
he pulled out the guitar with Clay Dabbler the other night. Holy shit, that was unbelievable. John, we're all focused on your guitar playing. Why would you do that?
And he's every time he drinks, that hand pops up like see those bits where the dude's fighting his own hand,
Yes.
It's
like Pinocchio.
Yeah, but it's almost like a balance thing too. Like it's weird. There's a lot
That could be
going
a
on.
category for You Make the Call, best unintentional hand appearance.
Oh my god, I love when it just pops up on the screen a little bit. You know, it's like down here, and then the whole thing just comes up. I don't know, but it's a slow rise. It's like Grateful Dad. Also, Dustin's dirt is basic Lexus search stuff. Think it's $1,000 tax lien is more damning than refusing to find work or provide for your kids for years.
No, it's not. It's just as damning, and you guys choose to ignore it. I gotta say, this whole thing, and this is like a rerun with this Dustin the PI, because remember when John first came back, he said he had all this dirt on us and he was going to share it with us, and we were all supposed to be scared about that. But have you noticed that John is, like, his show now is turning into the most boring shit. It's like Lenny Bruce's career at the end, where he's just reading all of the charges, and then he got a parking ticket.
Yeah.
He paid it. He paid it.
And then the judge said, and he's like, let me tell you what the judge said. And everybody's like, didn't this guy used to say cunt on stage? Where's the funny? Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah,
it's
throw
bad.
a cocksucker for old time, John. We're bored over here.
Right, give us something. Justice for Sketty and Cardiff. I miss Cardiff. Skanky Lizard, thank you for the $2.
No one misses Cardiff.
Steve Hanning, let's get a skull. What's that new one you have?
I have a new one. I have a smug skull.
Go. Oh,
that's a good one.
That's better than our smug skull, I gotta admit. What do you play? What's the one you have, Frog? Stroke skull.
Too,
Stroke skull, yeah. That's a good one. I like your smug skull. Jelly. Why can't you clip stuff like Karl? The Tom Gully Show. Big fan of the Tom Gully Show. Using John's best guitarist logic, hamburger helper is the most delicious cuisine on earth. There you go.
Good point.
It makes
Using
sense.
John's logic, he's a better guitar player than Buckethead.
Correct.
Yeah. Hackamania promo code Cardiff.
Thank you.
Oodles of Toodles. Thank you for 9 months. Although it's probably Cardiff's channel again, I'm reading. Making this guy millions today. According to Billboard, Stuttering John's album went balsa wood. I didn't know that, Yanks. Thank you for the update. Puffy, thank you for the $20 super sticker. Appreciate it, my friend. Muttering Jay is Vince and Clay on his air mattress.
That's the okay. They're implying that's the tag team because
Yes.
Karl has implied there's multiple players.
Well, Muttering Jay is definitely a different person now than he was. He's completely changed the style that he writes in and everything that he does.
It's like Doctor Who.
Right, yes. They're not on a good season right now with Muttering Jay.
Hey, Maga Ray DeVito, shit weighing mandolin playing potato, PWO. You don't have the drops anymore? You don't do the world order?
You want them? I thought I annoyed everyone enough with these.
I'm all for annoying people. Let's go.
All right. Wow.
That's so loud.
Oh, see? The gun shy. I'm just fucking everything up today.
Napping world order.
That was perfect. That was perfect. I cooked 100 pounds of potatoes today. Hi, Cardiff. Whoa, hamburger.
Genocide. It's
horrible. Easy.
Yeah.
Getting ugly. Thank you, guys. Lyndon49. Thank you guys for another great show. Thank you for being here, Lyndon, and for the $2.
Speaking of genocide, John, when he talks geopolitical stuff, it always cracks me up how ill-informed he is.
I'm sorry, nobody ever says, speaking of genocide, starts giggling.
Yeah, you fucking weirdo.
Well,
Germans do.
My relatives in Argentina also talk like that.
Yeah.
But
it's in his blood. He has to giggle after that word. Go ahead.
John was trying to solve the problem between Palestine and Israel and Hamas. And he goes, it's just a strip of land. Just share it.
But I saw something on Dabbler. Somebody said that was Howard's rap back in the 90s.
Oh, okay. So he just stole that?
Yep.
It's the dumbest thing ever. But John's not doing it as a joke. He really thinks that that's what they're talking about.
He thinks it's on the level of Kennison doing the Ethiopian bit going,
Right.
I'm on a front. You gotta move out of the goddamn desert. You know?
You can't
Like,
grow anything here.
Yeah.
It's a desert.
Let's go. AO 1012. I always think Eric the Midget would have made a ton on YouTube, but he took himself as serious as John at times, so I question my assumptions. What say you? Teamed up with the right person, Eric would be a king on YouTube. He'd crush us all.
He missed the he was just, if he could just held out a little longer.
Yeah, he would have had
Footed, you ass white. Footed, you ass.
he would have had a very long Kiwi Farms thread going if he were still around. And Shuli, I think you and I were talking about this the other day, where when he did that show about American Idol, and they would pull clips of that, similar to what we're doing with John now and all these shows are doing. They would pull clips of that and put it on Howard Stern. And didn't J.D. Harmeyer say that was the worst job he had, was having to listen to 3 hours?
He said the only time he thought of quitting was when he'd have to.
He hated his job. It's to sit there.
Listen to this. He'd be sitting there recording it, then he'd have to go back and edit it again a second time, and it was just Eric. You know, the technical. Welcome to the Idol Show. You know, and it's just, I mean, it's insane. It's like torture. Like you put it on headphones on terrorists and you play Eric's show for them, you know?
So I think that we would definitely be focused on his show and checking it out, but it would be a pain in the ass to edit. There's just so much downtime.
I remember the calls with Johnny Fratto with Eric not on the phone. He going, this fucking kid's killing me. He goes, this kid, you know, he's like, I got a new baby. He goes, I got to give every fucking second to this guy. If I don't answer him back, he fucking goes nuts. So, yeah, Eric was the king, man. I too like potatoes.
Thank you, Skank.
Skanky lizard. Thank you. Fucker Arter, frost your tips again, sexy man. P.S. I love fries. Yeah. The narrator, the paradox is that Stuttering John is only funny when he's not trying to be. The second he tries, his true failure as any sort of comedian is grossly exposed.
Yeah, I mean, John has definitely put on the performative John stuff, which I've gotten very bored of, because now he's doing those wacky faces and he's, even with the drooling and stuff, like he's embarrassing himself. It's very gross, but he's doing this on purpose. I think that's what makes him interesting.
You know, I forgot to bring this up with the screenshot that he put up with his tabs up there. So one of the tabs is, what is the real color of the sky? Right?
I fucking love it.
So now he expands. I don't know if you saw this part, but he talks about it on his show, and he says, he's explaining. Somebody says, why do you have that open? He goes, because a friend I was talking to didn't believe me, right? And he goes, I had to prove it to him. And then he says, you know how many times at the pub I have to Google this to prove to people that I'm right?
What a treat.
And instantly it hit me. Yeah, what'd you want to say, Carl?
On his laptop?
Well, I imagine on his phone, but he's claiming that's why it was open on his laptop. Right. He tried to make that connection. But somebody in chat said, I bet you he does that for free beer. Like he'll go up to somebody, he'll go,
right.
You know, like a true alcoholic. He has a magic trick or like some sort of trick to get a free beer out of a newbie that shows up, right?
You know what? I just had a thought, because I've seen these people. I've worked in restaurants, and I've seen these guys who come to the bar and start drinking at 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
The lifers.
And eventually, like, they come by themselves. But eventually they start to get to know the guy who's down there, and then they creep over, and now they're sitting with that guy, and now the other guy who comes in at 4:30, he starts talking to him from across the way about sports, and then now he's over there, and now these guys have like a buddy thing where they sit down. There's nothing to talk about. They're staring up at daytime television. They're watching whatever fucking ESPN thing is with no volume on. And so literally, if you get to a point where you're drinking in the afternoon and you're debating the color of the sky, you have a drinking problem.
Not only
That's
that,
a sign.
Not only that, you're annoying everyone else at the bar.
Yes.
Nobody wants to talk.
But
Nobody
that's what
wants,
I mean. If anyone's engaging in this conversation, they also have a drinking problem. Because if someone says to me, like, do you know the actual color of the sky? I'm like, I don't give a fuck. All right, leave me alone. I'm here with my wife. I just try to have a drink.
I can almost picture him with a banner like Virgil. Stuttering John from the Howard Stern show. I bet you don't know the color of the sky for a beer.
Yeah, right? Everyone's just avoiding him.
Yeah, I'm with Karl. I'm with my wife, and some dude's like, you know what the real color of the sky is? I whisper to my wife, this guy's gonna rob us. There's no way a normal human brings this up in conversation. Something's up here.
Meet you at the car.
Meet you then run. Stuttering John Nimrob, good to see you, pal. Stuttering John's band was a less talented, ugly kid, Joe.
That's a good call. I forgot that band really did suck.
They were terrible. Eclipse Melendez, John's grandson. Frog is right. Green Day's Dookie came out on 2/1/94. By the way, Tan Mom is more famous than Stuttering Buffoon. She's back one more time. Few things as disturbing as Cardiff suck face. Wow. That is, it always makes me laugh.
One more of those.
Yeah,
Just coming at you.
Nobody do anything with those screenshots.
I just hope one day the wife comes in while he's doing that. He's just good. It's not what you think.
and I never got a boner again.
Jay, the Wolfster, what's up, buddy? Hey, I have an idea. Make a show roasting lame super chatters who think they're funny. I hear there's a nerd with a video game avatar and a misspelled name everyone gets wrong. You can call it, Who Are These Super Chatters?
Love it. I'm stealing that.
That Levy and Vince the Lawyer podcast haven't been this depressed about a collaboration since Paul McCartney and Kanye. Disgusting. Thoughts on, did you guys watch any of that?
Paul McCartney and Kanye?
Yeah. I know more people saw that than Vince and Bob. No, did you see the Vince and Bob show?
I watched the first episode. I didn't see the second one.
Yeah, they haven't done a second one.
Oh.
I don't know if it's in the works or not, but I know they've only done one so far.
Oh, okay.
Any thoughts on it?
Bob was on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like Bob.
Bob was good.
I do too. Big fan of Bob.
Yeah, Vince just tries to do an interview show, and Vince doesn't have a very dynamic personality, so it's a little bit of a slog.
Good thing this was a comedy show, though, because it was hilariously funny this episode.
Good stuff, yeah.
So, yeah, he's on fire. I used to super chat John gotcha messages to try and help him see the truth or even another viewpoint. It doesn't work with him. I wasted my money. He's helpless.
Correct.
He has his own truth, G-Rob, and nobody's going to shake him of it.
I think it was the great Missy B who was on this program, and we were talking about how John is a narcissist, and Missy's had to deal with that in her life. And she's told me this on many occasions. You cannot tell a narcissist that they're a narcissist. They will not hear you. They will not believe you. There is no amount of evidence you can show them. There's nothing you can do. And I see these people, and it's fun to watch. Mm-hmm. But guys like Penis Wrinkle and a bunch of these super chatters who just go on there and go, John, here's proof that you're an idiot, blah, 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 blah. And then he'll find a way to deflect or correct their grammar, or he'll do anything. He'll start singing a song. He'll do anything than address what's actually being said to him.
My favorite is he goes, what? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what that means. That's my favorite.
He does it much slower than that, though. He's really trying to stretch out the time.
Yeah.
He tries to think of something.
Nasty Al, my man. Thank you for the $100. There are two things I might have to super chat this dummy so he can see them. I'll let you guys pick his bathroom/toilet or watch him do 10 jumping jacks. Good to see. I vote for his bathroom or toilet. Wow.
Okay, so Nasty Al, do you remember when John was in Florida with Hitman Dan, and John's doing a show, and you hear Hitman Dan start yelling from the bathroom?
Oh, that's right.
And John goes, yeah, I know, I didn't clean up, whatever. And the way Hitman Dan was yelling is like he saw a murder scene.
And that's Hitman Dan.
Blood everywhere. His hemorrhoids probably squirting all over the walls.
But understand, it grossed out Hitman Dan.
He's married to Dawn of the Dead, and he was like, this is gross.
I got a line, John. You crossed it.
This is too far. So, Nasty Al, I think he's not going to show his toilet.
No.
This jumping jack's going to be fun to watch too, though.
You know what, Nasty Al? You let him pick. Give him those two options. Let him pick, I think.
Carl, you never make it to the moon if you don't aim for it.
That's true.
That's right.
So go for the toilet.
All right.
For the toilet, yes.
You know what, Nasty Al? Send him like a $5 or $10 one and say, if I send you $100, will you show us your toilet? And then if he says no, then go, if I send you $50, then Shuli him down. If I send you $50, will you do 3 jumping jacks?
That's not a bad strategy there, Shuli. How do your people know how to do that sort of thing?
You can't beat this. You can't beat this.
This is another thing. Just speaking of toilets, I just remembered John was talking about you guys. Well, he was watching you guys talk about how much urine there is in the litter box, how much cat urine there is. And John goes, How they're making this up? How would they even know that? John, you've admitted it yourself. You never changed the litter box. You hate changing the litter box. You've said it multiple times.
My point is, as a cat owner, how do you run out of litter? How do you get to the point you go, shit, I don't have any?
He ran out of cat food, and he had to order it through an app to be delivered. It's like, how come you pour in the rest of it? Like, how do you not know you're almost out of cat food?
If you can't remember to maintain your pet's bathroom area,
yes,
and you can't remember to feed your pet, I guarantee you your entire 500 square foot apartment will smell like cat piss and shit. 100%.
Gentlemen, you're overlooking the fact that this is an alcoholic who runs out of beer regularly.
I don't change the litter box.
I've never met an alcoholic that didn't know exactly how much beer he had in his fridge and was always prepared.
I have to say this, though, Cardiff. Lately,
great point.
Lately, he has, I don't know if it's a 12-pack or an 18-pack, but
he's huge silos, man.
He's switched over because it used to be he'd have a beer or two and he'd get up and go get another one or whatever. Now he just has the whole 12-pack or whatever sitting next to him, and he just digs his hand in like a claw machine and pulls out a prize. I win again.
Well, and then
teacher's discount at Costco.
Maybe, but the other go back to the drool thing. When all that came out of his mouth, he didn't get up. He didn't grab anything to clean. Wherever it landed, it stayed there for the rest of the show.
Let's double
it's
check.
Still there now.
Oh no! Oh my god! Oh! Oh, God.
Oh, sweetie, you know I like it when you swallow it. Come on. You make me feel bad when you spit it back out again like that.
Yeah, you need like a European dude going, play with it, baby. Play with it in your mouth.
But so John knows that's embarrassing, right? I mean, he has to, right?
Yeah.
Because he was doing an impression of me right there when that happened.
But does he know it's embarrassing? Because you remember like older clips of Army Major talking about how disgustingly dirty his car was? And John would do that exact thing. He'd start laughing and clap his hands.
That's the point I was just about to make. When he's embarrassed, he does this thing where he plays off. He's just like, ain't I a stinker? No, you're obviously embarrassed about what just happened, John. We can all see it.
See, but there is a part of him that loves hearing that story of how he stunk up the green room taking a shit on the Artie, on the comedy show with Artie, or like. By
the way, that was the same show that he wanted to go out in the audience and fight people who were heckling him.
Yeah,
and they had to hold him back and stop him from doing that.
Yeah, guest spot. By the way, the guy who asked and got a guest spot wants to go and fight in the audience. That's. Way to make your headliner feel like you made the right choice.
He also locked an agent in a room and said he wouldn't unlock the door until he promised to represent John. That's also a true thing that happened at that show.
Hey, Karl, just because you don't have negotiating skills, don't knock this guy.
Obviously not.
I'm holding you hostage until you take me on as a client. Nasty Al, thank you again, buddy. Good to see you you three together. Thank you. Reggie Dunlop, thank you for the $10. I managed a CD store in 1995 and ordered the Stuttering John CD for stock. The owner was livid with me. When I left to open my own store, he made me take the CD. It sat unsold. The store closed in 2009. Unbelievable.
That's hilarious.
Unbelievable.
It did not sell well. I have to tell you guys, so back when CD stores were very popular, I remember going to the local store here, the Record Archive, going to the used CD section, and my band Eddie Nebula and the Plague was in the used CD section. And it's like a mixed feelings thing, because we did sell the CD at one point. Someone thought they wanted it. But then they're like, I'd rather have $1.50 than the CD in my CD collection.
That's brutal. Hey, at least they didn't bury it like the E.T. video game, They just fucking took it to a dump.
But again, to the John parallel, it would be like Karl doing a show where he talks about that time he was at the CD store and he saw the used CD of his in the bin.
1,500 plus in here joining us. Thank you, everybody. Hit like, hit subscribe, turn on accept gift and memberships. We put a link in the description So you just click it. It'll take you to your settings. Turn it on or member up yourself. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Anything, patreon.com/Cardiff Electric. Go support. Go sign up. You know he's the man. And whoarethese.com. Go to that site. Hackamania's coming up.
Hackamania.com. Promo code WATP for 20% off. I had to get that out before Cardiff started yelling his horse shit.
I was going to say, you two can fight over the promo code. I'll just.
Yours is only 20% off? Cardiff is 25% off.
Whoa. So if you want
Shuli taught me that one.
Yeah, nice move. Respect.
No, I'm really looking forward to Hackamania. So just real quick, it's May 31st through June 2nd. So it's Friday through Sunday. So it's a weekend in Vegas. It's going to be awesome weather at that time. And we're doing a comedy shows Friday night.
Nice.
And we're doing an open mic that's going to be like Kill Tony style.
That's great.
People come up, do their 60 seconds. We'll have a panel of professionals, and Ray DeVito critiquing you on how you did. And I have to tell you, I don't know if this is going to happen or not. I hope I'm not blowing up his spot. But I was hanging with my brother over the weekend, and he claims he has a tight 60 that he wants to get up there and do. So I was like, awesome, man. I hope that happens. Anyway, so we're doing that. And then the Real Comics, Melton's coming out of retirement. Vinny Paulino's going to be up there doing a set. Earl Skakel, Pat Dixon, who's hilarious. Ray DeVito's going to be there. And then on Saturday, it's live podcast all day. We have a new venue. It's a bigger venue. It's a rock venue. It's going to be great. So the Creep Off is doing a live podcast. Who are these podcasts? Tookie Soup is going to be there. I believe Tookie Soup is going to move you. Obviously, Rock Bottom will be there. Nobody Likes Onions. So it's worth checking out. Hackamania.com, promo code WATP.
And JT, while we're plugging, Be Dabbling live Saturday, 10 a.m. East, Tookie, 6854, Potato Soup this Sunday night, and OJ in the morning this Sunday, 7 a.m. East. Hashtag Cabby1, hashtag Drink Bleach, Ray DeVito.
Here we are, everybody. How are you?
JT knows where it's at.
Yeah. Thank you, JT. Eclipse, Melendez, this is no joke. Do you remember when John had a supposed car wash guy come to his apartment and appear on camera? It looked like Stuttering John wanted a hookup.
Oh, get in here. Come here. No. Come on. Come here. Get close to my face. No, get real close to my face with your mouth.
I believe it was someone detailing the Mercedes.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
You go, see how famous I am? Look how many people are watching me live. Take off your shirt.
Yeah, I know. And the best part is that John wanted a discount off the detail because he's just like, plug your thing. You're gonna get so much business after this.
Well, it's funny you say that because I have a little fun fact that I stumbled across regarding John and his guitar playing days back in Long Island. Apparently, he used to go to this recording studio quite often. And I don't know if he owed money to the recording studio or if this was just a deal he worked out to get free studio time. But there are Channel 9 shows where John is wearing a shirt with a phone number, and I think it says Rock at the end of it. And that is the studio's. He basically told him, I'll wear a shirt on the Channel 9 show and plug you guys for free studio time.
So that is something that Howard Stern owns.
Yeah.
The Channel 9 show.
Correct.
And so I have to figure that Stern saw that shirt and said something, right?
You would
Howard's
think.
usually perceptive on these things, and he does not like being taken advantage of. Like, he doesn't want John grifting his audience.
Well, you know what's great about this is that you never worked for Howard, yet you know this.
Yes.
John worked for Howard.
I've heard him enough, yeah.
And still went ahead, knowing this, and made that offer. And that, my friends, is Stuttering John.
He's
from
lucky
day one.
Marcy Turk wasn't there.
Woo!
Heads would have rolled.
Is it tucked in?
Does it have a collar?
Does it have a collar, buttons? Frog, do you have Clay's Stuttering John BJ explanation? Oh, Frog, do you have Clay's Stuttering John BJ explanation clip? I don't know. Dang Lizard, $5. Melendez, I wrote a song with Howard I called Skunk. It was a really good song. Howard came up with the keyboard part, and I wrote the melody and lyrics. That's a quote from him?
He loves talking about being the bass player in the Losers and whatever song he co-wrote for that thing.
Magellan gifting 5. Thank you, Magellan.
Membership machine.
Appreciate it. Eclipse. Stuttering John fucked up his relationship with Stern by going on Facebook and telling everyone to not drink the Stern Kool-Aid and to not blame Leno for the feud. Oh, so he made public posts about it?
But then I believe because of Susanna and Beth's relationship, he was actually able to mend that relationship until he went on the Adam Carolla morning radio show and talked about what a cheap fuck Howard is for no reason. He got nothing out of doing that. It made zero sense. It was the dumbest thing he could have done.
I wouldn't say for no reason. I think there was a reason. He has nothing else to bring to the table. So
well,
what
he could
else
have talked about Tahiti Village some more.
Oh, well, that's true.
Forget about that hot topic.
Well, I'm here with my friend Pia Zadora, and we're going to talk to you about Tahiti Village.
Well, that was the problem. Howard wouldn't book him to talk about Tahiti Village. Adam Carolla would talk about Howard and Tahiti Village.
You're right. Yeah. He was pissed off about that, probably.
Skanky Lizard impatiently waiting for the DG Rico. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it too. To be tonight, 8:00. Chris Allen, $4.99. Where's Steve? Broccoli. I don't care about the super chats. Just like seeing him around. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. More whining from him. John is a sociopath beyond a narcissist. That is a debatable thing right there. Frost.
There's different versions of narcissism.
Right.
And one of the things I'm going to be delving into is because there's a lot of different symptoms of narcissism. John displays most of them, which is, I think, hard to do. Like usually narcissists don't display all of the different symptoms of it. But,
right.
I believe you're right. I believe it's on the extreme end. It's a spectrum. Everything's a spectrum. I believe he's more on the extreme end. So we'll be analyzing that as well as John's guitar playing over the coming weeks.
Did you hear that shit, Waya? I'm the best narcissist.
Yeah.
Guess who aced his narcissist test? Fucker Harder, Frosted Tips and Potato Nips World Order.
Nice.
Well, I like that mix. Like that combo. Count Connor, maybe his pension is from Coors. Maybe. Norwood. Hey, Karl, did the guys ever tell you about the Botox theory?
No.
That he's getting Botox here and there. Basically.
How is that possible? His head looks like a mountain range.
Because the theory is that there's places around him in that neighborhood that do it for very cheap, and you get what you pay for. So while it may work for set amount of time, it's not. It's like getting generic cereal versus the name brand, right? Just tastes different. It's just different.
I would argue when it comes to cosmetics, when it comes to surgery, things like that, like you don't want to get the cheaper knockoff version.
No, but if he is getting Botox, that's a lawsuit he might have and can win.
Yeah, when he said he went to the gym every day, I'm like, well, you should probably sue that gym.
Class action.
Yeah.
Who can forget this? An acting referral from Stuttering John is like getting a babysitting referral from Jeffrey Epstein. Boom!
Not bad.
Well, that's the other funny thing is he's like, I wanted to put a good word in for this kid for high school drama in a public school. Like, who's supposed to believe this bullshit?
Well, it doesn't matter for you're going to get into a public high school either way, and then
right,
and they probably let everyone do drama. It's not like
of course,
cuts, right?
Of course. No, they have one class once a day, and that's it. And only the elite can sign up for it. You have to have a letter of recommendation from someone who's been on TV. Thank you. Hamhead, does Dum Dum mean 401k instead of pension?
Even if he does, which he might, I doubt he has a 401k as a substitute teacher.
No.
Unless it's self-contributed.
Yeah, maybe. But he wouldn't do that.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Johnny Russo, good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, what's up, Johnny?
See how he reacted to Voss? Light jab, then changed his tune mid-show when he saw Voss said it was a joke. Thin-skinned piece of shit. He blocked me on his chat. I guess he had enough of promoting Ant's book. Spare me.
This was on my list of things to talk about, Johnny. I'm glad you brought it up. Did you see this back and forth on Twitter?
Yes, I did. Okay. I actually texted Voss last night right before Rico, and I was like, hey, man, I hear you pissed off Stuttering John. I said, if you ever want to come on and do our show, feel free. And he says, I'll pass. I was just joking with them. He says, although I am a big Shuli fan. Hope all is well. Well,
Voss is actually in Rochester doing a show with Vinnie Paulino tomorrow night.
Oh, please give him my best, man.
So, so I was messaging this. So I got it from E-Rock, sent me this.
Yeah.
I'm blocked by John, so I don't see it. And then I sent it to Vinny, and Vinny's like, oh, sweet, I'm going to see Voss. Can't talk to him. But basically what happened was Chad Zumach tweeted out his shows that he's doing this weekend at Boca Black Box. John says, come on my show to promote it. Chad responds, when? This is all on Twitter.
Right.
And then Rich Voss, for some reason, pops in and says, I thought you two were enemies. I can't keep up with middle drama. Which is, it's funny.
It's Rich Voss. It's Rich Voss. If Voss doesn't rip on you, he doesn't like you. That's it.
Also, if anyone is going to call these guys middles, it's Rich Voss. He's been headlining for decades. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So John responds with, middle? I headlined all the Improv's Laugh Factories and Punchline. Heck. And I just want to point out, John puts an apostrophe on Laugh Factories. This fucking guy who was always, correcting everyone's grammar.
You know how Rich Voss, you know how every comic has the same story the first time meeting Rich Voss. It's the guy's in the green room. Voss comes in, he goes, hey, Rich, I'm a big fan. Nice to meet you. And he goes, are you a comic? He goes, yeah. He goes, give me a coffee. And that's how Rich introduces himself to every new comic. So,
all right, so then John puts out a tweet later that says, new show today, tags Rich Voss, and at Rich Voss is a douche. So he makes his claim he's going to go after Rich just because of this one thing that he put on there.
Yep.
So Rich then responds, it was a joke, loosen the fuck up.
Yeah.
But before that happened, John went on a 25-minute rant about what an asshole Rich Voss is, including, I'm going to play this on WATP tomorrow. You guys might have it on Rico tonight, including he pretty much said because Rich Voss didn't do this charity event for 9/11, he tried to equate that to Rich Voss doesn't care about the victims of 9/11.
Well,
he pretty much implied that, and Rich Voss was rooting for the terrorists. I couldn't believe it. It's crazy.
Hey, you're talking to a guy who was shamed for not joining the Israeli military at 4 years old, fighting for my country. So then, I get it.
So John goes on 25 minutes trashing Rich Voss for anything. And I was talking to Vinny about this today, and Vinny had a funny line. He's like, John just has a Rolodex of ways to trash people. Like he goes, oh, Rich Voss is going after me. V Voss. Yeah, all right. Well, guess what? Rich Voss didn't do a charity event because he doesn't care about the victims of 9/11. And then this other time. So then John goes off 25 minutes. Rich Voss replies to John's post and says, it was a joke, loosen up. And John responds, LOL, damn, just saw this. And I saw this on his show while he was doing it. He's like, oh, and then another thing, Rich Voss, he's like, he just told me it was just a joke and I should lose. Oh, shit. I was just trashing him. Oh, my bad.
Mr. Don't go after my family. I can take it. Go after me. I can take it. Meanwhile, nobody's going after your fucking family, idiot.
He's the most thin-skinned asshole. And I think even John realized it at a certain point where he's just like, maybe I'm being thin-skinned here, but Rich Voss, they just fucking let him have it for 25 minutes straight.
Yeah, it's Voss is one of the king of the ball busters. It's an honor to have your balls busted by Rich Voss.
But it shows you how the word middle triggers John.
Yeah.
There are certain things that really trigger John. He hates being called a middle, which, John, no one wants you to open for them. You're not even a middle. No one would even want you to be in front of an audience for 15 minutes and ruin the flow of the show.
He thinks he should be on the same level as these other guys. And he wants them to believe that. He wants them to kind of let him in and be a part of it, but it's never going to happen. He's not.
Oh, Shuli, I know that.
Yeah.
Because you know why? John's not a funny guy.
Not at all.
He's not good at this.
Not once. Yeah.
Chrissy Mayer was never born. Would the middle verse have been born today?
Maybe,
deep,
yes.
Deep. Let's go. Paula. I love some Paula. Thank you for the $10 super sticker, my dear. Have a great weekend. The best revenge is living well. That's what brothers John. That's what bothers John the most. Sorry,
Correct.
Kyle. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. That's really, when I think back on him attacking me out of the blue when I was working for Howard, It's no doubt in my mind. It's 100% that. I used to put this fucking guy on hold. Now he's working there. Now he's in the studio talking to Howard. Fuck him.
And Shuli, I know this is all about you, but let's also remember JD Harfire. When John decided he was going to get JD fired from his job because JD was like DMing someone on Instagram or something, which I don't think is a fireable offense for DMing girls on Instagram. And John was like going on a whole campaign to get JD fired. And he doesn't admit it now. He acts like that didn't happen, but it most certainly did. He was trying to get everyone to start messaging. He was talking about talking to the HR department at Sirius to get JD fired. What the fuck did JD ever do to John?
Yeah, and like your breaking news is JD's creepy. No shit. His revelation was he spent 10 grand on webcams. Like, yeah.
I think we made the connection at some point. I think we found out that JD did make. There was like one quote that JD said something. Right? It was like,
I don't draw first blood.
It was like what, like Stuttering John, and giggled like on a Stern show. I think that's what it was. That's all it was that set him off on JD.
Yeah, and John's response is always like Israel going after Palestine. It's like, whoa, that's too much. What are we doing over here? Oh, I'm sorry. Was that offensive? Was that controversial?
Michael P. Hey, go Bills. I am 16 years, New York State ED.
Erectile dysfunction.
Yeah.
Education department, maybe. Yeah. My wife is 20 plus years. There are second year bus drivers that have better retirement plans than that dolt. Heart you guys. Go Bills. Thank you, Michael P.
Yeah.
Dr. SJ can't stop doing Karl's favorite salute. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I've noticed that.
Yeah. Dang lizard, thank you. Karl, Sunday in Vegas. Are you reserving some poker tables? Can't wait to sit down with you all.
I'd love to play poker out in Vegas. We should definitely do that. There's also this punk rock museum that a buddy of mine is a part owner of that I'm definitely going to be checking out on Sunday as well.
It's a great punk bar. I think it's still there, maybe. The Double Down Saloon out in Vegas. Used to be a good punk bar. Eclipse Melendez. Stuttering John's opening the district to legal liability, especially if anyone was fired for anything approaching what Stuttering John's doing. Accessing information and not employed. Yeah. Isn't that hacking? Right? Skanky Lizard video of that bum Stuttering John chugging with his right arm while his left arm does gimpy things is thin in reference to his live solo. F Long Dogs. The stroke affects his left hand. How can he play guitar if he can't even type with his left hand? John Ceiling of Lies.
Can't or won't?
I was going to say, we know he can't.
Yeah.
Carrie, thank you, buddy, for the $5. Shuli, I literally got chills when on Thursday you swore on the Uncle Rico show. You swore an unholy vengeance against Drunky that he has no idea the scale of. Love you, Karl and Potato. That's right. I mean every word of it. I don't remember what I said, but I stand by it.
No, but we all have PIs. That's what everyone's working on, is to dig up dirt on each other, because that's what a fun show that is.
That's right. That's what this Dabbleverse is all about, right, guys?
I'm going to stop playing clips of John. We're just going to do deep dive interviews with people who are his family members. And I got a nephew coming on the show next week.
Hey, guys. Welcome to the Uncle Documents show, guys. We got a good one for you today.
John claims he got a B in math in 7th grade, but I found the report card. It's a C-.
Frog, put up the document. God damn it, Frog. Wrong document. Shuli, are you a betting man? Because I'm willing to bet that John broke his finger on purpose so he could just say he's a great guitarist and writer without ever being able to prove it in front of you. Stranger things have been pitched, my friend. The Looney Tunes critic. John's horse. Look at that. I got nothing to say besides you three are my favorite dabblers. Love you, Cardiff. Oh, hi, Frog.
Oh, hey, Froggy.
John's horse, thank you. 3-bedroom house in London. Mattress is on a bed frame. Dickheads. Clay Dabbler.
Clay Dabbler's in the house. How come your bedroom seemed like it was also in your living room when you got to the bathroom, and it sounded like it was also
very close
next to there? Yeah,
it was very close. Yeah. Do you? Can you? You don't have to super chat or anything, but like, do Do you regret anything? Do you you've seen the episode? Maybe you haven't.
Watched it back. Yeah, that's a good question. There's no way he remembers that.
Right. I'm just curious your thoughts on it, and I hope everything's well, buddy. Take care, Clay. Thank you for the 8 months of memberships. While you hate,
and again, Clay, you do very good work.
You do. You're very
all
talented.
Very impressed with your art, but that's interesting too because Clay seems like a single guy, right? I don't know if he talked about this or not. He doesn't have a family or anything,
right? I mean,
so
it doesn't
he
seem
did
like
talk
it.
about it. No, he is single and doesn't have a family.
He's single and doesn't have a family. So this is similar to when John said he was going to buy a 5-bedroom house in New Mexico.
New Mexico, baby.
Like why bedrooms? Why is that an important thing to have in a house? Just me and my wife.
Right.
So I bought a 3-bedroom place in Florida, and I wasn't that concerned about the other 2 bedrooms. It was more about the pool and, the kitchen and the living room and the dining room. Like, those are the important things. So I'm not sure why he has a 3-bedroom apartment in London. I don't know what you do with that.
Clay has answered you in the chat.
Oh, what does Clay
hold on.
say?
Where is he? Because I'm gay and all I do is suck cock.
Good
okay.
Answer. All right.
Thank you.
I will accept that.
All right. I'll flip all the cards over.
Clay's making points.
Hey,
send him the link.
Mic drop. Mic drop. ETM would have owned this thing. I'm telling you, Chachi, he would have run this shit. Sure. Woody from Syracuse. Hey, Shuli, Karl, and our benevolent, lovable potato.
What is in the water in Syracuse? What are you talking about?
Woody's been crazy from day one.
Yep.
I love it. Skanky Lizard, thank you for 11 months, by the way. I hope John's cream-filled cat is tracking this. Cream-filled cat.
Probably cream covered with the shit coming out of his mouth.
Shawnee, good to see you, buddy. All-star lineup today. Love it.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Sean. Joseph, Colin, Shuli, Karl, and Cardiff. Triple threat of the Dabbleverse. Thank you, JC.
Thank you.
Jay, hey, do you know what color the sky is? I've got a better question. Do you know what color my gun is? Frank with another super sticker. Thank you, Frank. Appreciate it, buddy. Uncle Jack, I got American dollars for Clay Dabbler to come on and tell his side to Granny and I. No judgment. Oh, hi, Grant's brother. Yeah, I think you should do that, Clay. Granny and Jack are good together. Let them talk to you. It's neutral territory. Dang Lizard, Stuttering John. I've lost the feeling in half my body, in my lips, my left ring finger, thumb, and pointer. I've lost feeling in my toes on the left side. What's he doing?
But his heart is perfect, so that's good.
Yeah.
That's the good news.
I'm glad you don't. Yeah, go ahead.
Sounds like diabetes.
I'm just glad he doesn't feel anything in all those parts and still rides a motorcycle with 80 pounds of salt on the back.
Do you think the doctor is just like, your heart's fine, your body doesn't rely on circulation, so it's fine. It doesn't matter if it's pumping or not.
It should outlast some other things. So.
Yeah. I got to be honest, John. We're all scratching our heads back there. We don't know how this is happening, but I mean, just keep doing it, I guess.
Somehow your heart is propping up your liver.
There's an episode where Mr. Burns goes in for a physical, and he literally has every disease known to man. But because he has every disease, they work in this perfect balance that keeps him going. So he's saying, so you're saying I'm fit as a fiddle. No, that's not what we're saying at all. Any small thing can happen. And he's like, and he walks in, he's like, yep, fit as a fiddle. That's John walking out of the doctor's office.
As John took my stress test today, which they don't give you unless there's a fucking issue. And
there's
he goes,
problem.
Doctor said my heart's perfect. Because every doctor says perfect to you, right?
There's no liability there when you say perfect. Also, the doctor told him he didn't have to go on walks anymore. He's like, just stop exercising because you don't even need to. It's so amazing.
Skanky Lizard never found Tan Mom funny. I don't wish her ill, but if you ever need a laborer with a shovel, call it Noga. Shuli, thank you. If he wasn't a drunk and slob, what would he actually be? That's all he's got at this point.
Well, he'd be the world's greatest guitarist, the world's funniest comedian, the world's best actor, writer. I mean, what are you talking about, John?
I mean, the reality. Listen, the reality of that comment is he doesn't know what he would be because he's never been anything else.
Right.
So, sky's the limit. Really, can't get much worse.
All right. So something else that I wanted to talk about with you guys. I don't know what you guys' take is on Quadfather, on Derek.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, I don't know if he's doing a thing, but it's like,
right.
Yeah.
So I'm just as perplexed by him as I was by Stevie Lou when Stevie Lou was going on his show and kissing his ass. Like, okay, what's the plan? What's the end game here? Is Quadfather just like Clay Dabbler, just kind of starstruck? Like, oh, this guy's paying attention to me. I'm on a show. People are watching this. I can promote BYB. Because, and I always liked Quadfather until this recent iteration of him where he agrees with John about everything. And is so boring. He adds nothing to the. And now, granted, you can't be on John's show and be interesting. He will kick you off. Mm-hmm. So that is true. So Cardiff knows firsthand.
Yeah, but it's a question of, do you sell out and just agree with everything this guy says for the sake of staying on this show? And like, what is it really doing for your show at the end of the day?
Wouldn't it be better, because I've done this with John, wouldn't it be better to go on John's show, tell him to his face what a loser he is, and have him kick you off, than spend weeks and weeks pretending to be his friend and kissing his ass until eventually it goes nowhere and you just look like a clown? And I'd love to know what Quadfather's goal is. I'm sure he doesn't want to talk about it, but
also, like, the longer you're in it, the less the payoff is going to be, right? Like, so it's like, it's the people who won at blackjack when I was dealing got in and got out. They weren't playing there for 3-4 hours. You know what I mean?
Correct.
And then the casino police fired me for not being a graduate. We all know that. When I saw him open terribly for Artie, he threatened to fight a few hecklers who were in the balcony. Yeah, Connor, the story is he tried to get up there to the balcony to actually fight these guys. While Artie's on stage performing, the guy who gave him a guest spot at a sold-out fucking show in L.A.
But also, John doesn't realize the persona, and he loves to talk about how he was the ball buster, and he was the guy who shook things up at the Stern show, and he'd go in there and call everybody out. It's like, well, if you're going to be that guy, people in the audience are going to think that that's who they're interacting with, John.
Right.
They love the Stern show. They listen to every second of it. So you're in there calling everybody out. There's people calling you out. You have to know how to respond to that.
Yeah.
How are you not ready for that?
I've told him on his show, I'm like, John, listening to Stuttering John kind of created Cardiff.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, in a point, like, this is what you created. It's just coming back to you.
It's amazing what this guy has built and done without ever knowing it. You know how many people are sober today because of John?
I've gotten
because
lots
of watching
notes. I've gotten a lot of notes from people, including my friend Kaya Orson from the official podcast, who younger guy.
Oh, I remember Kaya. Yeah, I think I did a WATP with him.
Yes, you did, and Anthony. It was us doing John Goes to Washington. That was one of our classics.
It was great.
But I remember Kaya saying, like, yeah, Karl, I don't really drink anymore because I don't want to be like John in 20 years. It really has helped a lot of people, not even trying to in the slightest.
And you know, will we see a day where John's like, you know how many people I've helped by being an alcoholic? You know,
I know,
and he's,
for sure.
He's still taking credit, but while our old cat needed insulin injections, it would have lasted a day with Stuttering John. Right, the cat, he would have been like, I'm not doing this shit. Yep. Yeah. Earl Camembert, is there a date for DabbleCon 2 yet? Yeah, what's the deal with that? I thought we talked about a window. Is that still happening?
Yes, we do have a date. We had an original date. We had to move it by a week, so it's basically the same. But it is August time frame we're looking at.
We'll be announcing it at some point.
Yes.
So, but it is happening.
Promo code Cardiff.
Are we doing?
No, there's no promo code Cardiff.
Wait, no, he's not lying. Look, promo code Cardiff. Look at that.
I stand corrected.
I mean, I almost feel like there's enough stuff to do another Dabbies this time around, right?
I think we have to do another Dabby Awards because that was so much fun.
Grossest Lifetime Achievement Award. All right, get this off, you idiot. I want to see this more.
Dude, I got the Lifetime Dabblers Award. You can't give a second one away. I just want to stand on the record here.
No.
Actually, we're gonna rip it from your hands and give it to Tookie in front of you.
I have to bring it back.
We'll have to give it to him a second year in a row so he doesn't get upset.
And hand it to Tookie.
Yeah, and yet another Lifetime Award goes to. So I've been doing this thing where we've been kind of doing this show, You Make the Call, where we find a theme like throwing the beer can or, bad hair days. And we have like 10 or 12 clips and the chat narrows it down to 5. So we're going to have categories and nomination clips ready to go for Dabbies. So it's going to be wild. And I think there's going to be a lot more categories this year. I think there's going to be a lot more people.
Yeah.
And it's really going to be a celebration yet again, as it should be. Narrator, most humbling band moment. Thrift shopping with my girlfriend at Goodwill when she sees a shirt and says, "Hey, isn't that your old band?" Fuck my life.
Yep. I mean, it's one of those things you're just like, well, cool. I mean, someone owned it at a time. They liked it at some point. That's cool.
Keith L., thank you for 11 months. I have a great snot video for Bob and BS. Froggy, can you give me that email address again, please? Go ahead. Frog?
Uh-oh.
The Uncle Rico Show pod.
Sorry, I'm working. The Uncle Rico Show pod at gmail.com.
Don't say
we're
it
all working.
Yeah, like I'm over here fucking knitting.
What are that?
I'm working. Dickbag. No one else in the Dabbleverse would let a chatter blow him for 4 straight hours or claim it was the best podcast ever.
Oh.
Stuttering John is Trump, a.k.a. narcissist. Yeah.
Yes.
I agree. Nobody... 5 minutes of it is uncomfortable. Like, it's just... It's not good. It's not good radio.
All the people who are really turned off by Trump are all Trump themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, narcissists hate other narcissists. They can't stand them.
Yeah. You know how we know they hate Trump? Because they can't keep their fucking mouth shut.
They can't stop talking about it. It's crazy.
It's a great point. Sociopathy, Machiavellianism. Yeah, narcissism, the dark triad. Each distinct but combined create John. IQ isn't a factor, but it helps keep it going. Wow.
Yeah. I'd say alcoholism probably helps too.
Yeah, more than the IQ.
For the considering his IQ grew.
Well, yeah, it did increase by 30 points, which is impressive.
For the love of God, don't show his toilet. Suzanne's Unfound Clam. Thank you, my dear. Good to see you. John's Ready Whip Can, another Hall of Famer, in my opinion. Him and Penis Wrinkle are fantastic on John's show. Rich throws a friendly jab. John drops a nuke. It's the same as it was with Artie.
Yep.
John's too unfunny and insecure to take a little ribbing. Well, look where we're at currently, right? Nobody's got a picture of his mom up. Nobody's talking about his kids or showing photos. But yet every day, his comeback to us just goofing on what an idiot he is and how bad his show is doxing more and more people. So, yeah, he has no ability to be funny, witty, or come back.
And Cardiff, I think, said this to John's face on his show. I know I say to John's face. It's not the internet. I get it. But I believe that Cardiff said to him when John was justifying his actions of whatever he was doing in retaliation, you're like, John, this is another one of those Artie suicide moments. You got to watch yourself.
Yep.
And he never once takes a step back and goes, yeah, I know. You're right. I'm overdoing it. Like,
Well,
just once you want to see the guy go, yeah, why am I reacting like that? That's crazy.
Even how many times since he's been back have we seen him have these, I talked to my kid, I talked to the guy from Collective Soul, I talked to a buddy of mine, and they all said, just ignore these guys. And they're right. And they're right. And that's what I'm going to do. And from here on out, not another word about him. And so, yeah, it's just he can't do anything else. He doesn't want to. What else is he going to do?
He's got nothing else. That was another thing that annoyed me about Quadfather.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know his job is to agree with John that that's what you have to do if you want to stay on the show. But John was going on and on about how we need him more than he needs us. Because someone in the chat told him, like, John, without Shuli and Karl talking about you and, the potato soups of the world and stuff like that, no one would be paying attention. And John goes, no, that's not true at all. I was doing a show. It's like, no one was watching that political show. You had a couple dozen lunatics who were giving you $2 every 32 minutes.
But that's not true because according to John, Kevin Brennan saw him doing his political show and said, whoa, what is this super chat thing? I got to get involved with this.
I know he takes credit for everything. He's incredible with that shit. But the only reason why John has a show right now that people are paying attention to is because we shined the light on what a lunatic this guy is.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous because fucking Quadfather said they're going, yeah, you're right, John. You're right. Like, fuck off, Derek. You can't possibly believe that to be true.
Yep. Will Karl be playing Kiss mini golf in Vegas? Joseph Collins.
I can neither confirm nor deny. Hey, before I know we gotta get through super chats. I apologize, but I know that Penis Wrinkle is still here.
Yeah.
And another thing that I wanted to bring up was John owes Penis Wrinkle $1,000, and I used to know why, and I've kind of lost it because it's been a while. So, Penis Wrinkle, if you're still in the chat, if you can remind us why that is. So, every now and again, Penis Wrinkle reminds John, "Hey, you owe me $1,000. I won that bet." And John's newest thing that he said yesterday is he goes,
"Oh, let me guess." He said, "Do you have a shirt of your business, and I'll wear it on my podcast for you?"
No, he's lost that. I'm surprised
that
he has. He says, no, you don't understand. Having a bet with someone that you don't know in real life doesn't count. You can't actually bet people unless you know them. And then he remembered they never paid his bet with Alex Stein. And he goes, "But Alex Stein told me I didn't have to."
Oh, that's great.
So that's why I never paid that.
Because John unblocked him, right? That was worth $100.
I negotiated that.
That's right.
Well, just yesterday he was like, "Yeah, I've been texting Alex Stein. I haven't heard back from him." It's like, oh, I wonder why.
He probably tried to respond to you.
Right. Stuttering John lost the feeling because of the strokes, but this explains the mangled fingers. Now I really don't want to see his left foot. I might vomit and never stop. Yeah, but that makes me want to see it even more.
I think we've seen his left foot, haven't we?
Oh, yeah, we have that picture. Find that picture, Froggy, of him showing his feet off.
Fucking gross.
Kyle Benson, thank you for the 5 months. I still haven't gotten over the time Stuttering John called KB the slave owner of the Dabbleverse. FSJ, FKB, Mike Morse. Thank you, Kyle. Yeah, there you go.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Who would take a photo like that? So Penis Wrinkle says, "I bet him that he wouldn't file that lawsuit against Vince's lawyer." Yes, holy shit. That was just like a month or two ago, and I completely forgot about that whole stupid thing. So
Won it fair and square, too.
John was going to sue Vince the lawyer, which was going to force Vince the lawyer to sue me, because in order for him to sue me, claiming that he's muttering J, there had to be real damages. And so John's...
it's like setting up a domino thing. It's like, I'm going to knock this one into this one, and this is going to fall here, and the mouse trap drops down. That was
one of the most delusional things John ever thought he was going to do, and he talked about it all the time. And so, yeah, props to you, Penis Wrinkle, for calling him out on that. And then he wins the bet, and now John's just like, "Well, I'm not going to pay you."
Of course not.
If John had won that bet, he would never shut up about it.
Never. And I think that's one of the categories we'll be tackling on You Make the Call is best lawsuit threat from John. There's a lot. So Rebellion, Color of the Sky. I'm more curious of the color of his liver. Shuli, the talented Mr. Potato, and Lance Bass. Great lineup. The highlights live on. Love you, pal.
How dare you?
Yeah. Rebellion gifted one. Thank you, Rebellion.
Come on, my face.
All right, easy.
Let's just say
let's
just say if John's liver did something in the streets and somebody videotaped it, Anthony Cumia would tweet about it.
He sure would. Yeah. And the media would remain silent about
it. Ant had an amazing tweet.
Oh, yes.
Did you see that?
I don't remember what it was. Oh, Navy SEALs fall asleep in 2 minutes.
Without pills. Yeah, it says Navy SEALs able to fall asleep in 2 minutes without pills. And so he retweeted that with a picture of John doing stand-up.
Genius.
Fucking brilliant.
Stuttering John is so like Howard. You hate him, but you can't not listen. Most popular answer, I want to see what he says next. FSJ, FKB, love you guys. Here's the difference. People were waiting to hear what Howard said next because it went somewhere, right? It was funny. It was shocking at times, but it wasn't thoughts from a dumb guy. You know what I mean? You can tell Howard's
it's
an
totally
intelligent
different.
guy.
Yeah.
It's completely different. But yes, there is that factor of like, I'm going to watch this fucking idiot, crash into the wall again.
And John obviously tries to be like Howard, but this would be like Howard if his entire show was talking about Imus.
Exactly. Or
like
Trump.
About nothing else.
Yep.
Or Trump and COVID. Promo code Cardiff. Hit it. Come on.
Everywhere. Just put it everywhere. Anytime you see a promo code box, just type in Cardiff.
Kilroy was here and Cardiff.
I thought B. Dabbler was Cardiff due to wearing a mask at DabbleCon 1. Now I watch his show the most. Tookie World Order. Thank you, Earl. Big fan of your work for many years. Carol Dillon, pissed with Bob back pissed with Bob, back with KB, will end in tears. KB is struggling for guests. John, imagine the shouting he does at the laptop watching you lunatics. Yeah, I don't think Bob's back with KB, but
a lot of speculation about that.
No, he's on MLC right now.
Oh, is he really?
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Because
I was
honestly,
like, what?
the fact that now Chad Zumach is second mic on there, and it's brutal because Kevin can't use him as the punching bag. It used to be Bob and Kevin.
Now he's got to protect him.
Now he's got to protect him, which is not how you use Chad Zumach on his show. So it's gotten really weird.
Well, and not to go off on a whole thing here, but I saw something on Twitter that I guess Stevie Lou is moderating his show now, and apparently is emailing super chatters that he doesn't like their super chats, and that when one of the things I saw, if this is accurate, this is allegedly Stevie emailing this person saying, I'm going to find out where you work and going to call him nonstop. That can't be good for business.
No, and also I guess there's a rule now that you can't super chat about Stevie's wife. So those get taken down and never read on the show. So it's getting it's weird that they're censoring things over there now.
Jeez, who would have thought, huh?
When does this Friday at 4 p.m. show become a Brennan show?
I know, right?
Point Brennan point.
I got news for you. He's not as entertaining as John. I hate to break it to you. I haven't watched the show in forever. I'm waiting for Bob to go back on. But
I just posted a clip the other day. Well, today actually, it's up on our YouTube page because he without Adam Hineker, he doesn't know how to run his own show. So it's him, Mike Bichetti, and Chad Zumach trying to run a show, which is hysterical. Yeah. So Bob's playing a My Lost or Kevin's playing a My Lost Interest clip because of course he is. That's all he's got.
Sure.
And his YouTube is set to autoplay the next video. So it goes into an SNL clip. So immediately Chad's like, oh, you got to take that down. You got to stop. You got to stop it. SNL, NBC, you got to stop it. And then Kevin's all confused about this. And he's just like John. He's like acting like he's in the courtroom. But it's YouTube's fault. I didn't play it. They're playing it for me. I don't know. It's a video sharing.
Already YouTube's taking his channel down.
Yes.
He's fighting back.
But the funniest part, and check out my video on here on our YouTube channel. The funniest part is that I figured out why it was a brand new SNL skit, like from one of the current season skits.
Yeah.
Kevin Brennan's not watching current season SNL. No one in their 60s is watching current season SNL. It's terrible.
Right.
Kevin must be going back because the algorithm thinks he wants to watch SNL. Kevin's going back and rewatching his glory days too.
Wow.
Yes, thank you. I deserve that boom. Because honestly, that's what YouTube does. It plays the video that they think it's most likely you're going to want to watch. So for John, it's his appearance on Jay Leno, and for Kevin, it's him on Weekend Update.
Oh, we're definitely going to get
precipitated. What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
We're definitely going to get like John now with Kevin, the search histories when he starts typing stuff live. And we're going to see all the things he types into YouTube.
Oh, yep. I can't wait. It's so fun.
It took him a week before he figured out how to make his episodes members only. He had like a week backlog before he figured out how to start getting them back there.
Dr. J. Crow at the narrator, humbling moment or humble brag moment? There you go. Spa day. Is Quad really a quadriplegic? Any proof? His arms work better than Stuttering John's. We need a deep dive into what happened.
Yeah, that is true. A quadriplegic is paralyzed from the neck down, so he wouldn't be able to move his arms.
Right. But he doesn't have like full, like, I don't think his arm or his hands.
I don't think his brain works very quickly. I've seen no evidence of that. So
he seems slow.
Yes.
Is what Karl is saying.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't know. And I think he told the story of how he got hurt. I think he fell out of a tree or something.
Jumped into a pool. He dove into a pool from a tree that was.
There you go. I knew there was a tree involved somewhere. Who's more delusional, Stuttering John or Schaub? Brendan Schaub, you talking about?
So I think it's Stuttering John because I've studied a lot of Brendan Schaub stuff too. And so Brendan Schaub, he doesn't respond to everyone calling him out all the time.
Right.
So he actually understands how to play this game to some degree. Now, he did send a lawsuit or tried to sue Unique.
Yeah.
which was a very bad move. It's a very Stuttering John thing to do to
Yep.
draw more attention to it. And he lost that lawsuit. So it cost him money and it got everyone talking about how thin skinned he is. So Brendan Schaub definitely is a lol cow and a loser, but he hasn't created yet anyway. Not all of his content is based on a subreddit goofing at him.
Right.
He's learned to ignore the subreddit. You know, every now and again, someone will bring up Reddit or something and be like, yeah, I know, I'm not a big fan of Reddit. You know, I'm kind of laughing off.
Right.
He's not as stupid as John is.
I think that's a great point. And again, another guy who I wouldn't really know anything about if people weren't out there goofing on him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Stuttering John claimed he made $3,000 a month via political show. Yeah, please.
That number keeps changing too. He's such a fucking liar. I mean, let's not forget, if you want to know how much John lies about how much money he makes, just listen to him talk about how much he makes as a substitute teacher.
Right.
Which is something that we've all been able to look up and see the actual numbers. He was making 6 figures. Oh, no, actually, it's not even 5 figures. It's 4.
Whoops. I just woke up. I wasn't looking at it correctly. Purple Monkey Dishwasher. I know that guy.
Yeah, Purple, you're going back to Chad's show again.
He is?
Yeah, buddy. I want to see if Chad's got new material because he keeps doing the same material over and over again, and he keeps saying he's got new stuff, but he doesn't want to burn it.
Okay.
So report back. Let us know what his set's like.
Tell Chad I said hi if you see him. Thank you, Purple. Good to see you again,
give
buddy.
Give him a big kiss on the cheek from me, too.
Yeah.
Purple will be calling to be dabbling live tomorrow with an update.
I hope so.
Ooh,
Good.
I like it. Keith L, $5. Sorry to disturb you while working, Frog, but can you give me that email address again?
I meant to say editing, but it's the Uncle Rico Show pod at gmail.com.
There you go.
Yeah, we know you're multitasking back there.
Carol Dillon, thank you for the 5. Karl did a bit on KB messing it up. So funny. Chad was the voice of reason. Mike was just agreeing with KB defending himself in the court. Mental. Yeah, I have to watch it.
I made the point that of those 3 guys, Chad was the smartest, which is not a good sign.
Connie, at Karl, it never occurred to me that John's brindle fly was cum. Thanks for the nightmare. Love you guys.
Honestly, I'm surprised it wasn't flagged for pornographic material on YouTube.
Seriously, we were worried about that. We really were.
What?
Denny?
Oh my God. That's his trap. That's his Trojan horse. He's had you guys play that clip so many times. He's gonna report you.
Yeah, he's going, I'm gonna spill my boyfriend's cum and then I'll get them all.
You know what? I wouldn't even start up a second YouTube chat. I'd go, that was brilliant.
Yeah, like,
you win.
Yep.
Time to go get a job at Avis renting cars. Later.
I don't care how many dicks I have to suck. I'll get that shit way up.
Joke's on you. It was a mouthful of cum, you idiot. A bit behind, but how could John have a pension if he bragged about refusing to join the teachers union? Oh, interesting, Denny Falcone. Big fan, by the way.
Yeah, how could he possibly have a pension? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
He can't keep track of all the lies that are flying around him.
Correct.
You know, all he knows is that most of them are on the ceiling. That's why he always looks up. Matthew Rowley, thank you. Wow, an all-star lineup today. Karl, king of podcasting in Cardiff. The potato that caused the Irish potato famine. Oh, hey, Shuli, didn't see you there. You son of a...
Hey, thank you, Matthew.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it, buddy. And Stuttering John's soiled sheets to wrap it all up. Thank you for the 20. Stuttering John's problem is he don't listen or take constructive criticism well. If he would listen and take opportunities, he could make some decent money. Bottom line, he knows everything but knows nothing at all. Fact, Jack. Boom. Well said.
You know, honestly, I think John's making as much money as you could possibly make. We talked about this a couple of years ago. We're like, why doesn't John lean into this? I remember Monique asked him that when he was on Radio Gunk. Why wouldn't you lean into this, John? You got all these people talking about you. There's this big community, subreddit and everything. John's like, because I have millions of fans. I don't need to engage with these assholes. Now he realizes he has no fans, and the only people who are paying attention to him are us. So now he's leaning into it. And honestly, he's getting enough people who are trolling him and giving him $5 at a time that he's making more money than he would doing anything else with his time.
100%.
So
100%.
Good on you, John. You're doing the right thing, but it's also killing you slowly.
And he's not racing out the door to do anything else either.
Right.
You know, there could be a part of him that's like, okay, yeah, I'm making decent money. I get to sit on my ass and do this, but man, they just keep shitting on me every day. Maybe I should think of something else. Maybe.
Yeah.
Nope. I'll take the beating. for
Dude,
$2
work
at
on
a
your
time.
act. Wouldn't it be great if all this time John's been working on a new hour special, and all of a sudden he just shows up and does a whole new comedy routine?
Be
That'd
amazing.
There's no fucking way in hell he's doing that.
No. If he ain't feeding cats, he ain't writing a new hour.
He's a lazy piece of shit.
Yeah.
But Shuli, as a professional comedian, if he had 45 minutes, say he's been using it for 20 years, but he had 45 minutes that worked. The name Stuttering John from The Tonight Show, The Howard Stern Show, could he make a living driving around with pink sheets in his trunk doing that act?
I guess we'll have to wait and find out.
I mean, if he actually just had something, he could just still be running around everywhere, just at least doing something.
Yeah. The something you're talking about, but the something you're talking about is called effort. It's called trying. It's called, coming up with an idea, a plan, something, anything.
Oh, just you reminded me, Cardiff, real quick. I know we're trying to get out of here, but I guess Ray had the guy who supposedly attacked Stevie Lou on his show. And John goes, Ray is such a bad interviewer. He doesn't do his research. He doesn't know how to have a conversation. John, I've seen you interview dozens of people. You're the worst at it ever.
Yeah. The only question John remembers to ask during interviews is third input. You into third input? That's it. Everything else is, no, I never picked up your book. I don't know what it's about, but tell me about it.
My favorite was, you have a book?
What are you doing here? You should be on the show promoting it.
That's my favorite question.
Chris Hall, last time TSN did an anti-Karen, the chat turned. Shuli put me up saying something like, this is shit. And he said, yeah, this is painful. We watched John. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it. This I could do all day and twice on Sunday. You guys are awesome, man. Patreon.com/Cardiff Electric. Go support my man. Hackamania is coming. Promo code. Go ahead, Karl. You plug Hackamania.
Hackamania.com, promo code WATP for 20% off. It's going to be a whole weekend of stand-up comedy and live podcast. Thank you very much, Frog, for putting that up. And it's May 31st through June 2nd in Las Vegas. And of course, whoarethese.com for all things, who are these podcasts, who are these socials, and who are these broadcasters.
And can I just mention bsshowlive.com? Go get your tickets to see Bob Levy at the end of July in Rochester at the Carlson.
I'll be there.
Get in there. Yeah, Karl will be there. Vinny Paulino's opening for him.
And I'm going to make Bob come over to this studio that we're all in right now.
Yeah.
And do a live WATP with us.
That's cool, as long as you're cool with smoking cigarettes in there. No. Oh, well, it was a nice thought. Bob will be on
come
Wi-Fi.
for 20 minutes, right?
You could do it. You can podcast from the yard.
Yeah. You all sound as crazy as John. You forget that in John's mind, he is Al Pacino, Seinfeld, and De Niro. He's a star and exudes talent. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Sirius should have kicked Howard out and brought John in as the new morning guy. I don't know what they were thinking.
They dropped the ball, man.
Yep.
Lady Di, ready to rumble. Thank you for 6 months. Half a year deep into this. Y'all ruined my life. Thank you. Oh, hi, Frog. Say it like you actually give a shit, please.
Hi, Froggy.
All right, we tried. Listen, lady, Karl is sexy. Ban that person immediately.
What?
Who's that? Clay Dabbler? Oh, Trigger. All right. Hey, listen, we had a blast. Thank you, everybody. Hit like on your way out. It helps us out. Hit subscribe if you're not. Thank you to everybody who popped in here from other worlds that aren't usually here. We appreciate the support. And stay tuned all weekend. Everybody's going to be popping up doing shit. We got Rico later tonight. So thank you, everybody. This has been Point DabblePoint. We'll see you guys later.
Point DabblePoint.